Chapter 3154, Die. When violent murderous voices resounded from within Dragon Palace, terrifying attacks suddenly rushed into the battlefield. The battlefield in front of Dragon Palace was only a battle between universe supremacies and below. If 10 universe supremacies suddenly rushed out at this time, wouldn't it be fatal? This was not a simple matter of taking a life. Not good, Dragon Palace still has universe supremacies. Quickly hide, there are still 10 universe supremacies hidden in Dragon Palace. Hide, quickly hide. When he saw the arrow that looked like a divine dragon, the leaf that looked like dragon scales, and the dragon sword that looked like a divine dragon, all the disciples and experts of the three clans were shocked. Even the fearless skeleton members trembled, the will-o'-the-wisps in their eyes flashing with fear. Boom boom boom. Beams of energy entered the army of the three clans. In an instant, countless skeletons lost all signs of life. 5,000 to 6,000 of the 30,000 members of the Nine Swords race were killed. The bloodthirsty race also suffered heavy losses. Kill. When the rest of the Dragon Palace disciples saw the supremacies flying over, their eyes bloomed with excitement. They let out a roar and charged forward. In front of them, the 10 universe supremacies had already torn open a gap. Now they could directly charge forward and kill them. Kill. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The 10 venerables of the Dragon Palace also let out a cold roar. Arrows were shot out and their figures charged over quickly. Not good, supremacies, save us. Clan leaders, save us. Seeing 10 universe supremacies suddenly appear in Dragon Palace, the disciples of the three clans were shocked. Dragon Palace's strength was not weaker than theirs. Now that 10 universe supremacies had rushed out, how could they fight against them? Just 10 universe supremacies were enough to destroy all of them. Not good, Dragon Palace still has so many supremacies. Not good, Dragon Palace still has 10 universe supremacies. Our disciples are not a match for Dragon Palace. In the sky, the supremacies of the three clans instantly widened their eyes in shock when they sensed the situation below. Another 10 universe supremacies. That was the top 10. Their skeleton race did not even have 10 supremacies. Even the bloodthirsty race only had 14 of them. Right now, the number of universe venerables that Dragon Palace had purposely hidden numbered 10. How were the disciples of their races supposed to defend against this? As for the skeleton clan, no matter how awesome their trump cards were, it was impossible for them to have 10 venerable level treasures. Damn it. At that moment, the leader of the Golden Light Skeleton tribe looked down and his face darkened. However, at this moment, the 5 elements grindstone blasted towards him. The Golden Skeleton tribe leader's expression changed drastically. The destructive power of the 5 elements landed on his body, causing the bones in his arms to slowly crack. He was a little frightened. He was no match for the Dragon King. As expected of the Skeleton Clan's patriarch. His defensive power is truly terrifying. At this moment, Wang Xian's continuous attacks landed on the leader of the Golden Light Skeletons. However, the powerful attacks merely caused a crack to appear on his skeletal body. If it was any other universe level 2 venerable, they would have been killed by him long ago. 5 elements grind trap. I won't give you time to waste. Go kill the others. Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone floated around the leader of the Golden Light Skeletons and bombarded him continuously. The attacking power of the leader of the Golden Light Skeletons was average. However, his defensive power was strong. Even Wang Xian would find it hard to destroy him in a short period of time. In that case, he might as well let the 5 elements grindstone restrain him. Swish. His speed was terrifying. In the next moment, he appeared behind a rank 2 universe venerable who was being suppressed by the sky formation. His dragon claws clawed at his body. What? The rank 2 universe venerable from the Skeleton Clan was already being suppressed by the sky formation. Now that Wang Xian appeared suddenly, his expression changed drastically. His body suddenly turned into bones and fled in all directions. Trying to escape? Major Sky Annihilation Formation. The sky formation seized the opportunity. With a cold look in his eyes, an array landed on the skeleton. The terrifying destructive power caused the power of laws on his body to crumble rapidly. 9 Mountain Suppression. A 9 elemental mountain peak came crashing down on his bones. Clan leader, save me. The rank 2 universe venerable skeleton race powerhouse's expression changed drastically as he roared mournfully. Scram. The leader of the Golden Skeletons looked over and dashed over rapidly. But at this moment, the 5 divine dragons on the 5 elements grindstone lifted their heads and spat out dragon breaths. The dragon breaths of 5 different attributes caused the leader of the golden skeletons to turn pale. He quickly dodged to the side. "Ark! Clan leader, save me." At this moment, another scream was heard from a distance away. The leader of the golden skeletons looked over and his heart sank. A rank 1 universe venerable from the bloodthirsty race was surrounded by 2 wind divine dragons from the Dragon Palace. His blood-like body was torn apart and filled with fear. They had fewer venerables than the Dragon Palace to begin with. Many of them had to fight 1 against 2. Fighting against 2 purebred divine dragons at the same level was simply courting death. "Lord Dragon Skeleton, bloodthirsty race leader, let's fight together. Retreat to the side of Lord Dragon Skeleton and the rest." The leader of the golden skeletons immediately ordered when he saw this scene. Given their current strength, they were no match for the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace had too many venerables. The only thing they could rely on was the 2 rank 3 universe venerables. Retreat, retreat, retreat. The universe venerables of the 3 races looked exceptionally embarrassed as they hurriedly retreated to the sky. Although the repercussions of a rank 3 universe venerable were too terrifying, they had no choice but to do so. Because they were no match for the Dragon Palace alone. On their side, they had already lost 4 universe venerables and 3 of them were rank 2 universe venerables. Their strength was no longer a match for the Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace is so strong. The Dragon Palace actually has 10 more universe venerables. That's a total of 40. This is crazy. The 3 races are no longer a match for the Dragon Palace. Now it's up to the Dragon Skeleton and Blood Dragon. It's hard to tell who will win now. Although the 3 races have suffered huge losses, they have 1 more pinnacle combat power. No matter what, this battle can be recorded in the history of the Milky Way. The surrounding universe venerables watched in shock. In this battle, it could be said that the godly kings were cannon fodder and even the godly emperors found it hard to survive. Even the venerables fell one after another. Chapter 3155. Swish, swish, swish. In the sky, the leader of the Golden Skeleton tribe, the leader of the Nine Swords tribe, and the experts of the brutal blood race flew to the back with bitter expressions. They came to the back of the Dragon Skeleton and the leader of the brutal blood race and stared coldly at Wang Xian's group. "Didn't you want to annihilate the Dragon Palace? Why are you fleeing now?" As Wang Xian moved, the surrounding divine wind dragons and Dragon Palace Yuzhou venerables flew behind him. They stared coldly at the experts from the 3 races with ridicule in their eyes. "Dragon Palace, we will annihilate you this time. Do you think you can withstand our attack?" The leader of the Golden Skeleton tribe roared with a hideous look. "Even if we have to pay a hefty price, we must annihilate the Dragon Palace." The leader of the brutal blood race transformed into a blood dragon. He swept his cold gaze across all the members of the Dragon Palace and fixed it on Lei Ming. "Dragon blood, dragon bones? I want all the lives in the Dragon Palace." The dragon skeleton swayed its massive body and let out a roar. "Just you guys." Lei Ming was filled with murderous intent as the lightning around him rumbled. "Just us. Kill." The leader of the brutal blood race roared and attacked Lei Ming. The dragon skeleton did not hesitate either. As for the leader of the Golden Skeleton tribe, 3 level 2 universe venerables and 14 universe venerables, they attacked from the left and right. Kill. When Wang Xian looked over, he revealed a sinister look. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, 5 level 1 universe venerables of the Dragon Palace flew over from below. There was a total of 35 universe venerables. With Lei Ming as the leader, they headed towards the 3 major races. "Tianjin, let's hold one of them back." Wang Xian squinted his eyes. Tianjin, and the 5 elements grindstone were enough to hold the leader of the brutal blood race back. The remaining members of the Dragon Palace were still much stronger than the 3 races. "All right." Tianjin nodded and waved his arm. One by one, the arrays formed in front of him. Dragon transformation. Wang Xian let out a roar and his entire body underwent a drastic change in an instant. This was the first time he displayed his divine dragon body in front of so many forces. A dragon roar came from his mouth. Wang Xian's body expanded to approximately 20,000 meters. The dragon scales on his body shone with a diamond-like luster. All sorts of luster flowed, making him look sacred and majestic. On his back there was a slightly strange wing, but one side of the wing was green, and the other side seemed to be missing something. Kill! Wang Xian roared. The 5 elements grindstone hovered in the air and attacked the leader of the Shueli clan. "What kind of divine dragon is this?" On the other side, the Shueli clan leader and the others saw the sudden change in the Dragon King's body. They were slightly taken aback and their eyes sparkled. Kill, kill, kill. There are at least 10 purebred divine dragons in this dragon palace. Kill them all. The dragon skeleton swept its gaze over them, and the will-o'-the-wisps in its eyes became even more excited. Boom. The collision between the two sides began. A loud sound reverberated in the sky above the Milky Way. The surrounding supremacies watched in horror. This is insane. The venerables of the Nine Swords race, skeleton race, and bloodthirsty race don't care about the casualties of their disciples at all. They are bent on destroying the dragon palace. What kind of divine dragon is that Dragon King? His aura is so strong. Could he be a mutated divine dragon? They're going all out. The three major races are going all out. Are they ignoring the disciples below them? The surrounding supremacies looked over and narrowed their eyes. The battle in the sky had reached its climax. Below them, even though the 5 supremacies of the Dragon Palace had joined the battle, the Dragon Palace still had the upper hand. In fact, the Dragon Palace had overwhelming combat power. The 5 supremacies of the universe charged at the army of the 3 major races rapidly. Together with the millions of members of the Dragon Palace and the millions of devouring dragons, it was a one-sided battle. Retreat, retreat. Retreat to the Skull Island and defend. The experts of the Skeleton race, Bloodthirsty race, and Nine Swords race commanded loudly. Given their current strength, they were no match for the Dragon Palace. If not for the orders from the supremacies above, they would have escaped long ago. This was not a battle on the same level. Kill. Leave no one alive. The members of the Dragon Palace roared with rage. One by one, the Berserk dragons transformed into Berserk warriors and slaughtered the enemies in a frenzy. The arrows of the arrow dragon species could kill a large number of skeletons with every attack. The 5 supremacies of the Dragon Palace were the Imperial Dragon species, Berserk Dragon species, Spike Dragon species, Venom Horn Dragon species, and Dragon Guard species. They were good at close combat. Sword radiance and daggers shone brightly as they slaughtered crazily. A large number of corpses fell in front of the Dragon Palace and were slowly absorbed by it. At this moment, dragon blood flowed continuously from the 9 dragon pillars in the dragon transformation pool of the Dragon Palace. After 10 minutes, the 3 major races had lost another half of their strength and retreated to the Skull Island. On the Skull Island, the Skeleton race had set up a strong defense, barely withstanding the attacks of the 5 supremacies of the Dragon Palace. Even so, it only slowed down the speed of being hunted by the Dragon Palace. This time, it was the Dragon Palace's turn to attack. The 3 major races defended. In the sky, the 3 clans relied on their 2 rank 3 universe venerables to fight against the Dragon Palace's forces. The battle of 50 to 60 supremacies made it much more difficult for the Dragon Palace to kill them. However, what shocked the clan leader of the tyrannical blood tribe was the fact that the Dragon King and the Dragon Palace Formation Master were able to restrain him with their power. This made him extremely shocked. Kill. I want to see how long they can hold on. The bloodthirsty race leader roared with a hideous face. As the days passed, the terrifying roars continued. On the 3rd day, the Skull Island was breached by the Dragon Palace. The 5 supremacies of the Dragon Palace charged in and started a massacre. Leader, save us, save us. No, 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 I don't want to die. After 3 consecutive days of fighting, the Skeleton race, the Bloodthirsty race, and the Nine Swords race had completely collapsed. After 3 days of fighting, they were slowly slaughtered. They were no match for the Dragon Palace. In the face of their disciples' cries for help, the supremacies of the 3 major races in the sky did not waver. Even the Nine Swords race leader's eyes were bloodshot. Now, as long as they could destroy the Dragon Palace and obtain the pure divine dragon bloodline, they would be able to improve greatly. Compared to improving themselves, they had already given up on other things. Moreover, they knew that they could no longer retreat. Only by destroying the Dragon Palace could they make up for all their losses. Chapter 3156. The war lasted for 3 days. 3 days ago, countless people were discussing it on the Universe AI. But at the start, they were only guessing that Skull Island was heading towards the volcano region. They weren't 100% sure. However, the news of Skull Clan and Nine Swords Clan attacking Dragon Palace spread throughout the 3 days. Compared to the beginning, some universe supremacies came over to watch the battle. At this moment, there were many more people around the battlefield. For example, the group of experts from Willow Deity Dojo. Other domain-level race experts. When they received the news, they immediately flew over to Dragon Palace. When they saw that the war was still going on in the tragic battlefield, they were shocked beyond belief. It's not just Skull Clan, Nine Swords Clan and Bloodthirsty Clan. The Bloodthirsty Clan is a powerful clan. Now the three clans are attacking Dragon Palace. Brother above, you're behind on the news. The three clans and Dragon Palace have been fighting for 3 days and 3 nights. Billions of skeletons from Skull Clan have participated in the war. But other than the Venerables, the ordinary disciples of the three clans are being wiped out by Dragon Palace. This is a peerless war. The three clans are attacking Dragon Palace. The battle has lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. There are millions of Emperor gods involved. It's terrifying. In this war, deity kings are nothing. The deity king disciples of Skull Clan are just cannon fodder. Dragon Palace is fighting against the three clans alone. They're too strong. I heard that Dragon Palace has 40 universe venerables. I wonder if it's true. In this war, several universe venerables have fallen. On the universe AI, countless people were discussing in shock. The war made them witness the cruelty of war. Deity kings were like dogs in the war. Even emperor gods would find it hard to protect themselves. I didn't expect junior brother Wang Xian's Dragon Palace to be so strong. Around the battlefield, the people from Willow Deity Dojo rushed over upon hearing the news. Their faces were filled with shock. The experts of Dragon Palace had already rushed to Skull Island and were massacring crazily. The rapid raindrops kept falling. The raindrops contained a powerful force that prevented anyone from escaping back to their own divine kingdom. A war where there was no retreat was exceptionally tragic. Junior brother Wang Xian is the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. His subordinates are too strong. The disciples of the Willow Deity Dojo stared at him in shock. However, what the disciples of Willow Deity Dojo didn't notice was that not far away from them, there was a woman with a willow cane hiding in a corner. She was looking at Dragon Palace and some members of Dragon Palace. Her long hair was like black silk, and she was leaning on a willow tree that did not match her appearance. There was a hesitant expression on her face. Boom, boom, boom. In the sky ahead, the battle continued. The three clans relied on the 2 level 3 universe venerables to fight against the 35 universe venerables of Dragon Palace without being at a disadvantage. However, Wang Xian and the rest did not seem to be at a disadvantage when facing them. An evenly matched battle. This would be a battle of attrition. Below, on the Skeleton Island, an incomparably huge coffin rose up. The coffin was yellow in color and contained an incomparably heavy aura. Suddenly, Chu Xian's coffin attacked a Universe Venerable level Dragon Palace expert. Caught off guard, the Universe Venerable from Dragon Palace was directly suppressed and killed. This scene slightly shocked all the members of Dragon Palace. Be careful of that coffin. Be careful, the Skeleton Clan still has a trump card. Prime Minister Turtle's expression changed slightly as he rushed into the battlefield and warned loudly. Kill them all. Our Skeleton Clan has been around for billions of years. Why would we be afraid of your puny Dragon Palace? Kill them all. The group of experts from the Skeleton Clan, led by the Golden Skeleton, roared coldly. This time the entire Skeleton Clan had attacked. There were countless members of the Skeleton Clan on the entire Skull Island. The Skull Island was also their grotto heaven. Here they had all the trump cards of their entire clan. That yellow coffin was an incomparably powerful acquired spiritual treasure. Within the coffin, thousands of skeletons sacrificed their lives to unleash a terrifying attack. He had killed a Universe Venerable of the Dragon Palace clan. This was the first Universe Venerable of Dragon Palace that had fallen. Kill. The disciples of Dragon Palace were on high alert as they roared sternly. Once again the battle entered a stalemate. The battle was still ongoing. As time passed, almost everyone in the Milky Way knew about the battle of the three clans besieging the Dragon Palace. Countless experts flew over curiously. When they arrived at the front of the battlefield and saw the battlefield, their faces were filled with incomparable shock. Tragic. It was truly tragic. The corpses of the Skeleton Clan were scattered at the bottom of the Milky Way. It was a ghastly sight. That terrifying might made everyone's heart palpitate. Countless people looked over in shock with their eyes wide open. The terrifying battle of the Venerables in the sky shocked them even more. They didn't dare to approach and could only watch from afar. Days passed. On the 10th day, there were already hundreds of thousands of Universe Venerables gathered. The battle has been going on for 10 days. The strength of Dragon Palace and the three clans are almost evenly matched. I guess this battle is going to end soon. The three clans can't destroy Dragon Palace and Dragon Palace can't destroy the three clans either. SSS, it's too terrifying. This battle has lasted for 10 days. Slowly 10 days passed. Everyone in the surroundings was discussing in shock. The outcome of the battle had not been decided in 10 days. It was very likely that this battle would end. Damn it, damn it. In the sky, the leader of the bloodthirsty race and the leader of the golden skeleton race had ugly looks on their faces. They had never imagined that this war would turn out like this. 10 days. They had not destroyed Dragon Palace in 10 days. In fact, it was almost hopeless for them to destroy Dragon Palace. The strength of the Dragon Palace's Dragon King and the Dragon Palace's Array Masters had shocked them. Even if they had 2 rank 3 Universe Venerables, they couldn't suppress the other party in 10 days. If they couldn't destroy Dragon Palace this time, their losses would be too great. Disregarding the fall of the Venerables, 60 to 70% of the disciples had died. What did it mean to lose 67% of the disciples? Haha, a bunch of trash. Continue fighting. We won't stop until the outcome of the battle is decided. Wang Xian swept his gaze across all the venerables of the 3 clans. His face was full of arrogance. In this half a month, Dragon Palace had killed a large number of experts from the 3 clans. Currently, there were already members of Dragon Palace in the Dragon Transformation Pool. In a few more days, the terrifying resources would allow Dragon Palace to produce 2 rank 2 Universe Venerables and a dozen rank 1 Universe Venerables. Once they broke through, the battle situation would change completely. Chapter 3157. Wang Xian and the rest were waiting for the breakthrough of the experts from Dragon Palace to turn the tide of the battle. He did not expect this battle to be so tricky. This was the most difficult battle since the battle in the Dragon Palace. If not for Lei Ming's appearance, Dragon Palace would have been defeated. Even so, it was still very difficult to face the siege of the 3 races. They were only evenly matched. The foundation of the skeleton race and the blood tyranny race was too terrifying. Our sect's experts will only arrive in half a month. In a place that was relatively close to the battlefield, 2 supreme experts from the ancient painting sect looked at the information on the intelligence system and spoke with gloomy expressions. They did not expect the Dragon Palace to be so strong that even the joint attack of the 3 clans could not destroy it. In particular, the strength and the number of venerables displayed by the Dragon Palace shocked them greatly. Their strength and number of supreme experts were not much weaker than their ancient painting sect. Even the ancient painting sect couldn't completely destroy the Dragon Palace. Sect Master said that we can lend a hand to the skeleton race. Let's see if we can destroy the Dragon Palace this time around. If we can destroy them, that would be for the best. If we can't, then our ancient painting sect will be able to join forces with them. An old man from the ancient painting sect faintly said, "Let's attack." Hehe, the Dragon Palace and the skeleton tribe are maintaining a balance now. Once we attack, the balance will be broken. By then, the Dragon Palace will definitely not be a match for us. The eyes of the ancient painting sect's universe paragons flickered. They glanced at each other and moved their palms. A pagoda appeared above the head of the old man on the left, and a spirit treasure that looked like a mace appeared in the hands of the other old man. Both of them stared in front of them as killing intent slowly appeared in their eyes. Skeleton Clan, Bloodthirsty Clan, Nine Swords Clan, our ancient painting sect will help you destroy the Dragon Palace. The 2 Universe Venerables from the ancient painting sect moved and attacked Wang Xian and the rest. What? Why would the 2 Universe Venerables of the ancient painting sect suddenly help the skeleton race? What's going on? The ancient painting sect wants to destroy the Dragon Palace? Hiss! The sudden actions of the 2 from the ancient painting sect caused many people in the surroundings to reveal shocked expressions. Did the supreme experts from the ancient painting sect take action? Both of them are level 2 universe supremacies. The Dragon Palace is in trouble. Some universe venerables looked over and murmured. They had arrived earlier and understood the feud between the ancient painting sect and the Dragon Palace. However, those who didn't understand were shocked. They didn't understand why the 2 venerables from the ancient painting sect wanted to help the skeleton clan. Venerable Lu Shan of the ancient painting sect was killed by the Dragon Palace. At this moment, a universe venerable said lightly, "What? Venerable Lu Shan was killed by the Dragon Palace? No wonder the ancient painting sect's 2 supreme experts took action. The 2 venerables from the ancient painting sect are rank 2. Once they make a move, the balance will be broken. I'm afraid the Dragon Palace will be in trouble." The crowd discussed among themselves as they watched in shock. No one expected that the Dragon Palace would actually kill Venerable Lu Shan and the others from the ancient painting sect. as well as the deputy sect master of the ancient painting sect. The Dragon Palace was probably going to be destroyed. Some people thought to themselves. Even if the Dragon Palace wasn't destroyed this time, it would probably have to face the alliance of the four forces. Among them were powerful existences like the ancient painting sect. Her? Oh no. Seeing the two universe venerables from the ancient painting sect, Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. The sudden addition of two rank 2 universe venerables would increase the pressure on the Dragon Palace. In fact, the Dragon Palace might even lose a large number of members. His expression changed as he swung his arm. Ancient painting sect, it's only a matter of time before the Dragon Palace annihilates you. The 5 elements grindstone struck at the two of them as he shouted with a cold expression. Aha, annihilate the ancient painting sect? The ancient painting sect will annihilate the Dragon Palace first. One of the universe venerables from the ancient painting sect bellowed with murderous intent. Rumble, rumble, rumble. As he spoke, the pagoda in his hand rose. Hurricanes blew out from it and struck at the 5 elements grindstone. Diske. The other expert from the ancient painting sect swung his arm and smashed his mace at the 5 elements grindstone. Rumble. The immense force sent the 5 elements grindstone flying backward. Roar, roar, roar. On the 5 elements grindstone, the 5 divine dragons lifted their heads and roared. Aha, kill. Kill everyone from the Dragon Palace. Thank you for your help, ancient painting sect. Let's join forces to annihilate the Dragon Palace. Leave no one alive. The leader of the Golden Skeleton tribe and the leader of the Nine Swords tribe bellowed with malevolent expressions. Great. Leave no one from the Dragon Palace alive. The universe venerables from the ancient painting sect replied with a stern look. They had to annihilate the Dragon Palace. Oh no, the Dragon Palace is in trouble. The surrounding disciples of Willow Deity Dojo were shocked when they saw the situation. Wang Xian was once a disciple of Willow Deity Dojo. Moreover, he had given them many treasures. Naturally, they hoped that the Dragon Palace would emerge victorious. However, the current situation was disadvantageous to the Dragon Palace. Should we strike? Not far away from the disciples of Willow Deity Dojo, the woman holding onto a willow tree looked hesitant. Looking at the passive Dragon Palace, she clenched her fist slowly. Hee, it's already very difficult for me to continue my cultivation. If not for the treasures given by the Dragon King, I wouldn't have been able to break through. As the woman spoke, she squinted her eyes. Her figure moved and disappeared in an instant. Kill? Kill. In front of them, Dragon Skeleton and the tyrannical Blood Tribe leader were bloodthirsty and excited when they saw the 2 second-order venerables from the ancient painting sect making a move. When they saw the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace being forced to deal with the experts from the ancient painting sect. Rumble. Rumble. Powerful energy swept across, forcing the members of the Dragon Palace to retreat. Their faces were solemn. Aha, die. The tyrannical Blood Tribe leader roared. The towering blood pillar in the sky condensed into the shape of a blood dragon and charged at Lei Ming. Weeping Willow of the Milky Way, illuminate the mountains and rivers. All of a sudden, a calm voice reverberated across the entire void. Willow branches hung down slowly from the sky above the Milky Way. The willow branches were lush and swaying in the wind. Under the rain, the willow branches looked aesthetically beautiful. However, there was a great horror hidden within this aestheticism. The countless willow branches swept towards the blood dragon formed by the blood pillar. Smack, smack, smack. Like countless raindrops falling on the surface of the Milky Way, the willow branches smashed the blood dragon instantly. Dragon King, let me help you. Chapter 3158, Dragon King, let me help you. When this voice rang out, when the towering blood dragon was defeated, when the woman's figure appeared under the countless willow branches, it instantly shocked countless people. Who is it? Whoever dares to get involved in the war between us and the Dragon Palace is courting death. When the leader of the bloodthirsty race saw that his blood dragon had been defeated, his face contorted into a hideous expression as he raised his head. Damn it. The faces of the Nine Swords tribe leader and the Golden Skeleton tribe leader changed drastically, and they immediately looked over. What's the situation? The ancient painting sect's 2 universe venerables also focused their gazes and looked over solemnly. What's that? The woman's attack instantly attracted everyone's attention. The surrounding universe venerables also looked over, their eyes filled with shock. At this time, who would dare to participate in a battle between 5 powerful forces? Wasn't that courting death? It's the venerable Willow Deity. The venerable Willow Deity is helping the Dragon Palace. A universe venerable exclaimed when he saw the willow branch hanging down from the void. Venerable Willow Deity was a famous existence in the entire Milky Way. Based on what they knew, Willow Deity should be at the peak of the universe second order. However, some people guessed that he was at the pinnacle of a universe venerable realm level 2, and could unleash the power of a universe level 3 venerable. Venerable Willow Deity was the undisputed pinnacle expert of the Milky Way. Her reputation was even greater than that of the leader of the Skeleton Tribe and the leader of the Dense Fog Tribe. In the Milky Way, the most respected person was Venerable Willow Deity. Because she established the Willow Deity Dojo, because she was the most neutral expert in the Milky Way. She did not participate in any of the racial disputes. Her powerful strength coupled with her neutral stance caused the various races in the Milky Way to not dare to provoke her. However, no one had expected that the Venerable Willow Deity would actually make a move in today's battle under such circumstances. Moreover, it was to help the Dragon Palace resist the 4 major races. This, no one could understand. It's our Venerable Willow Deity. When the disciples of Willow Deity Dojo saw Willow Deity Supremacy making a move, they were shocked. They were also very surprised as to why their Venerable suddenly helped the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian looked at the Supreme Willow Deity that had suddenly appeared in the sky and was shocked. Compared to the Venerable Willow Deity he met last time, he looked much younger. Many thanks for your help, Venerable Willow Deity. Wang Xian expressed his gratitude immediately. No need, I will help you block the Blood Dragon and the Dragon Skeleton. Willow Deity shook its head and said indifferently. Upon hearing her words, Wang Xian was shocked once again. Venerable Willow Deity is helping the Dragon Palace fend off the Dragon Skeleton and Blood Dragon? It seemed that he was very confident in his own strength. After this battle, our Dragon Palace will definitely repay Venerable Willow Deity. Wang Xian replied sincerely. The Dragon Palace would definitely repay them 10-fold or even 100-fold in the future for helping them at this time. There's no need. You did me a favor last time, Dragon King. Willow Deity shook its head and waved its willow branch. So. In the next moment, countless willow branches flew toward the Dragon Skeleton and the leader of the Blood Tyranny tribe. She had to fight both of them alone. Supreme Willow Deity, do you know that you're playing with fire? The leader of the Golden Skeletons looked over and roared with an incomparably ugly expression. Willow Deity wanted to help the Dragon Palace. Given Willow Deity's terrifying strength, it was impossible for it to annihilate the Dragon Palace. Moreover, he had a bad premonition when he saw how confident Willow Deity was about to fight both of them alone. Arrogant words. You want to fight both of us alone? The dense blood on the body of the Blood Tyranny tribe turned into a sea of blood and attacked the willow branches. Pa. However, the densely packed willow branches passed through the sea of blood and continued to attack the Blood Dragon. Another portion of the willow branches attacked the Dragon Skeleton. Roar. Seeing the terrifying willow branches, the flames in Dragon Skeleton's eyes flickered continuously. A mouthful of Law of Darkness flame attacked the willow branches. So. However, when the Law of Darkness flame landed on the willow branches emitted a green radiance. They passed through and continued to attack the Dragon Skeleton. 1 against 2, Willow Deity did not seem to be at a disadvantage. Kill. Annihilate all of them. Leave no one alive. Wang Xian's eyes lit up when he saw Willow Deity restraining the Dragon Skeleton and the Blood Dragon instantly. He turned his gaze to the side and roared with murderous intent. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, he instantly arrived in front of a Skeleton Race Universe Venerable Rank 1 expert. Bam! The humongous dragon claw smashed the skeleton into pieces and the destructive energy killed it instantly. Roar. Thunderbolts erupted from his body and he appeared behind clan leader Jiujin instantly. Shit. Damn you, Willow Deity. Do you know what you are doing? Clan leader Jiujin's heart tightened as he screamed in horror. Thunder Dragon punishment. Laming's voice exploded in his ears. He opened his humongous dragon mouth and tried to devour clan leader Jiujin. The thunderbolts in his mouth landed around clan leader Jiujin, preventing him from escaping. No. Save me. Clan leader Jiujin felt the threat of death and screamed in panic. However, what welcomed him was endless thunderbolts and darkness. He was swallowed by Laming directly and the thunderbolts bombarded his body. What? Clan leader. No. Clan leader. On Skull Island, the experts of the Nine Swords race trembled violently when they heard the screams of their clan leader. They raised their heads and looked up, their faces ashen. Currently, the entire Nine Swords race only had one universe supremacy, their clan leader. If their clan leader were to die now, the entire Nine Swords race would be finished. They would be completely annihilated. An expert from the Nine Swords race trembled as he stared at Lei Ming. However, they soon saw Lei Ming open his dragon mouth and spit out a corpse. The corpse quickly fell to the ground. The Nine Swords race leader had fallen. Seeing the entire situation change in an instant, the hundreds of thousands of spectators sucked in a breath of cold air. In an instant, the experts from the ancient painting sect had attacked. Willow deity had attacked. The Nine Swords race leader had fallen. The Nine Swords tribe could be said to have completely escaped from the attacks of the four great powers. Everyone knew that the Nine Swords race leader had fallen. This meant that the Milky Way had one less primary race in the universe. Willow deity is too strong. Chapter 3159. Destroyon, the Nine Swords tribe is completely annihilated. The leader of the Nine Swords tribe is dead. There's not a single universe venerable left in the Nine Swords tribe. Moreover, there are only 7,000 to 8,000 elites left from the original 30,000. Venerable Willow deity really managed to pin down 2 rank 3 universe venerables. Everyone who was watching the battle looked at the scene in front of them in shock. The death of the leader of the Nine Swords tribe was enough to declare the annihilation of the Nine Swords tribe. The strength of Venerable Willow deity had exceeded everyone's expectations. All of them looked on in shock. Kill? After killing a universe venerable, Wang Xian maintained his speed to the limit. He fixed his eyes on a rank 2 universe venerable from the Ruthless Blood tribe. Boom. In the next instant, Wang Xian appeared in front of him and swiped at him with terrifying dragon claws. Shit. The rank 2 universe venerable from the Ruthless Blood tribe was horrified. Without hesitation he dodged to the side. You think you can dodge? A cold voice came from behind, and array after array bombarded him. What? Save me, leader. The eyes of the rank 2 universe venerable from the Ruthless Blood tribe shrunk as he begged for help. Rumble, rumble, rumble. However, his voice came to an abrupt halt as the arrays landed on him. Kill. At the side, Aocier and 3 rank 2 universe venerable subordinates were attacking the last rank 2 universe venerable, the leader of the Golden Skeletons. Venerable Willow deity, if you dare to participate in our war, we will definitely annihilate you in the future. The leader of the Golden Skeletons roared in horror as he saw the 4 devouring dragons attacking him. The rapid changes in the situation gave him a bad premonition. Get lost, Venerable Willow deity. Get lost. The leader of the Ruthless Blood tribe was also horrified. His venerable clansmen were being killed one by one. Moreover, the Venerable Willow deity had appeared out of nowhere and its terrifying branches made it impossible for him to break free. Even if he wanted to help, he couldn't. This caused his body to emit a thick blood aura as he stared at Venerable Willow deity with his blood-red eyes. However, Willow deity remained unmoved. Since she had chosen to act, she knew the consequences of her actions. The best way was to leave them all here and kill them all. Scram. When the dragon skeleton saw that the Golden Skeleton Patriarch was in danger, it bellowed furiously. The dragon bones in his body began to change and shift, turning his entire body into an incomparably sharp weapon. His body tumbled and the willow branches were twisted and broken. When Willow deity saw this scene, its expression changed slightly. With a wave of her arm, the willow leaves bombarded his body. However, when the willow leaves landed on the dragon bones, they did not cause much damage. You've taken control of our divine dragon's body. I'll destroy you. Lei Ming raised his dragon head. His eyes were filled with the same ferocity. He rushed over and directly attacked the dragon skeleton. Roar, roar, roar. I'm going to devour your bloodline. The dragon skeleton snarled coldly when it saw the lightning dragon charging at it. However, there was a tinge of seriousness in its eyes. After fighting for 10 days, they had some understanding of the strength of both parties. Lei Long's strength was higher than his own. With the addition of Willow deity, they were no longer a match for the dragon palace. Roar, roar. He roared and called out to the leader of the Golden Skeletons. Retreat. All members of the skeleton tribe retreat now. Upon hearing the voice of the Dragon Skeleton Patriarch, the Golden Skeleton Patriarch bellowed indignantly. Isn't it a little too late for you to retreat? Wang Xian's eerie voice reverberated. In a flash, he appeared in front of the golden skeleton patriarch and swept his dragon tail at him. "Oh no, patriarch. We're surrounded by an array. We can't escape directly. We need you to break the array." Lord Dragon Skeleton, break the array. Around them, the level 1 universe supremacies wanted to escape to their own holy kingdom when they heard the orders from the patriarch. However, to their horror, they realized that the array had enveloped them. Given their strength, they couldn't break the array. Moreover, they were surrounded by 3 to 4 universe supremacies from the Dragon Palace. This made their faces filled with fear and despair. Without the protection of the patriarch and Lord Dragon Skeleton, they were no match for the experts from the Dragon Palace. "Oh no, the Skeleton Tribe and the Brutal Blood Tribe are retreating. It's all because of that damned Willow deity. If not for her sudden attack, the Dragon Palace wouldn't have the upper hand. Willow deity, you're making an enemy out of the Ancient Painting Sect." The 2 universe supremacies from the Ancient Painting Sect bellowed bitterly. "Tiske." Upon hearing them, Willow deity snorted and ignored them. "Let's go." The left guardian of the Ancient Painting Sect said immediately with a gloomy face. "Go. Do you think it's so easy to escape after attacking the Dragon Palace?" The figure of the Sky Formation appeared behind them unknowingly and stared coldly at them. "Ah, the Dragon Palace still wants to keep us here?" The 2 of them stared at the Sky Formation with sinister eyes. "That's right. Keep you guys here," Tianjin said coldly. The surrounding formations rose up one by one and covered them. Ark. At this time a scream was heard. The 2 of them looked to the side with a slight change in their expressions. 2 universe supremacies were killed by the experts from the Dragon Palace. Their expressions froze. Bam bam bam. Deafening sounds reverberated. Under the joint attack of Wang Xian, Roving Crab and the other 4, the Golden Skeleton Tribe leader couldn't retaliate at all. One terrifying attack after another landed on his body, causing cracks to rapidly appear on his body. His eyes were filled with horror. "Lord Dragon Skeleton, save me." The Golden Skeleton Tribe leader begged for help in despair. "Today all of you from the 3 tribes must die," Wang Xian said coldly. Kill. I'll kill them all. Leave no one alive." Devil Fiend and Roving Crab were like black phantoms as they burrowed into the bodies of the universe supremacies. Roving Crab traversed between the light and darkness, carrying out a terrifying hunt. Without the interference of the 2 rank 3 universe supremacies, they rapidly harvested the skeleton race and bloodthirsty race supremacies. "Run." The bloodthirsty race supremacies trembled when they sensed this scene. Defeated. They were completely defeated. Next, they would try to escape as many as they could. His body moved. He didn't have the heart to continue fighting and wanted to escape. Chapter 3160. Destroy Below, Trying to Escape? Willow deity's expression turned cold when it saw the Shui clan leader trying to escape. She could hold him back even in a 1-on-2 situation. She wasn't afraid at all in a 1-on-1 situation. Seeing that the leader of the Shueli clan was trying to escape, she waved her arm and countless weeping willows attacked him. The weeping willows completely shrouded him. "Damn it, I'm no match for him." Looking at the willow branches that had completely enveloped him, his expression was unusually ugly. His strength had been boosted by the dragon scales and was close to that of an ordinary rank 3 universe supremacy. However, he was no match for a rank 3 universe supremacy, especially someone like Willow deity. It was impossible for him to escape from the other party's attack by himself. "I can't stay here any longer." An anxious look appeared on his face. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, the willow twigs whipped towards his body. This caused his expression to change drastically. Bam bam bam. The willows landed on his body, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Suppression, complete suppression. No. He couldn't resist at all in the willow's space. He raised his head and let out an angry roar. The dragon scales on his body flew out and slashed at the willow branches. The incomparably sharp dragon scales immediately cut down the willow branches one by one. However, the willows grew back quickly and continued to whip at the Shui clan leader. Breakthrough. He let out a wild roar, his eyes fixed on one place and directly flew over. The dragon scales covering his body slowly floated up and slashed at the willow twig one by one. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. However, this time, when the dragon scales flew out and cut off the willow branches, even more willow branches wrapped around the dragon scales and wrapped around them. The dragon scales weren't a part of the Shui clan leader's body after all. As they cut the willows, they were suppressed by Willow deity. Damn it, break. Seeing that the dragon scales on his body were being suppressed, the leader of the bloodthirsty race's eyes bled. He could not care less about his own losses. A large number of dragon scales slashed at the willow twig. Willow deity waved its arms. When the dragon scales were cut off, the willow branch's attack power was greatly reduced. The willow branches condensed into a cage, completely suppressing the dragon scales. This won't do. If this goes on, I'll be dead. I must escape, I must. The blood-ruthless race sensed that their dragon scales had been suppressed and that their strength had been weakened. Panic appeared in their eyes. If he were to continue wasting time here, he might really perish here. Dragon scale break. He gritted his teeth, and all the dragon scales on his body slowly floated up, condensing into a terrifying storm of dragon scales. The dragon scale storm went straight for the willow branch that was trapping him. So. Wherever the dragon scale storm passed, all the willow twigs were severed. Willow deity frowned slightly. It hesitated for a moment before waving its arm. His palm immediately elongated, turning into an incomparably huge willow branch. The huge branches rotated and condensed like the roots of an old tree. The willow branches wrapped around all the dragon scales. Run! The leader of the blood-ruthless race made use of the safe space created by the countless dragon scales. His body trembled slightly and gradually turned illusory. Willow deity looked at the illusory leader of the blood-ruthless race. It was too late to stop him, so it shook its head slightly. The leader of the blood-ruthless race has escaped, but I've suppressed his dragon scales. After the leader of the blood-ruthless race escaped, the resistance on the dragon scales disappeared. Willow deity waved its arm, grabbed all the dragon scales in its hand and said, "Thank you, Willow deity." Upon hearing her voice, Wang Xian was immediately grateful. He continued, "Since Willow deity has already made a move, please help us suppress the dragon skeleton. The dragon palace will reward you handsomely after this." "All right." The venerable willow deity did not reject the offer. With a shift of its body, the venerable willow deity launched a barrage of willow branches at the dragon skeleton. Shit! Roar! When the dragon skeleton saw willow deity attacking it, its expression changed drastically. Given its strength, it could also escape in an instant. However, all the god nations of the skeleton tribe were on the Skull Island. Even if it could instantly return to its own god nation, it would only be returning to the Skull Island. Moreover, the Skull Island was just beside it. In other words, unless it could break out, it would be a dead end. This caused anxiety to appear in the dragon skeleton's eyes. Be it Thunder Dragon or Willow Deity, it was not a match for them in a one-on-one situation. Not to mention a one-on-two situation. At this moment, miserable cries could be heard from the surroundings. The number of supremacies of the three tribes was much lesser than the Dragon Palace. Now it was completely one-sided. One by one, the supremacies were being killed rapidly. The leader has escaped. We're doomed. A bloodthirsty race universe knight saw that his race leader had escaped. Looking at the four other knights surrounding him, his face revealed a look of despair. He was going to die. Oh no, the three tribes are completely defeated. At the side, the two supremacies from the ancient painting sect, who were sealed by the heaven array, had a drastic change in their expressions. Give it your all and escape. They roared and began to break out regardless of the consequences. They knew that if they did not break out now, they might very well be left here. Bam bam bam. No. At this moment, loud explosions and miserable cries could be heard. Their gazes swept over and their hearts sank. The golden skeleton leader's face and body had already been completely torn apart. His life force was rapidly disappearing. Other than them, all the other rank 2 supremacies had been killed. At this moment they felt many gazes looking at them. Seeing the Dragon King of Dragon Palace and the other 4 rank 2 supremacies of Dragon Palace lock onto them, their faces were filled with horror. A trace of cold sweat appeared on their foreheads and fear began to spread. Get rid of the 2 from the ancient painting sect. Wang Xian's voice rang out. At the same time, it represented a form of judgment. This caused the 2 supremacies to turn pale. It's over. The 3 tribes are completely finished. The 2 supremacies of the ancient painting sect are also finished. Even though Willow Deity attacked in the end, the strength of Dragon Palace is terrifying. 40 supremacies. This battle is simply too terrifying. I reckon over 20 supremacies will fall. The skeleton race is going to be completely wiped out. It's going to end. The 3 tribes are going to be wiped out. This is simply unimaginable. The surrounding spectators saw this scene and their faces were filled with shock. The battle lasted for 10 days. Almost all the elites of the three tribes were dead. Dragon Palace's incomparably terrifying strength. Dragon Palace's incomparably powerful purebred divine dragon was completely displayed in front of all the forces in the Milky Way. Its terrifying strength made all the forces tremble. Chapter 3161, Victory. Awe. Cries of agony could be heard from the battlefield. Every scream caused the hearts of the spectators to tremble violently. Even the venerables from the lower-tier races of the universe pursed their lips in fear. The screams were coming from the supremacies. The supremacies from the three races were being killed one after another. The two supremacies from the ancient painting sect were also being attacked by the Dragon Palace experts. In less than 10 minutes their bodies started to crumble. They started to scream in fear. But it was useless. It was just a helpless roar. The three races are finished. The two supremacies from the ancient painting sect are finished too. I wonder why Supremacy Willow Deity is helping the Dragon Palace. With Supremacy Willow Deity helping the Dragon Palace, even the ancient painting sect can't do anything to the Dragon Palace. Are the 9-wind divine dragons and lightning dragons purebred? But I feel that every member of the Dragon Palace is terrifying. The surrounding Milky Way powerhouses looked on in shock. Basically, more than half of the supremacies in the Milky Way had arrived. But this time, the universe supremacies killed by the Dragon Palace made them tremble. Even the venerable ones from the dense fog race were in awe and veneration. The strength of the Dragon Palace was much stronger than the dense fog race. Given their strength, the ancient painting sect was probably just SOSO. Besiege that dragon skeleton and destroy it. After killing the two experts from the ancient painting sect, Wang Xian ordered immediately. Yes, Dragon King. Kill. Rumble. In an instant, Sky Array Roving Crab and the other 30 supremacies charged over and started to surround the dragon skeleton. The dragon skeleton, who was already being suppressed by Supremacy Willow Deity and Lei Ming, had a drastic change of expression when he saw the 30 supremacies attacking him. He was filled with fear and panic. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the battlefield and fixed it on the Skull Island. On the Skull Island, the disciples of the skeleton race, the bloodthirsty race and the Nine Swords race had not been completely annihilated. In front of them, a huge earthen yellow coffin was suspended in the air, unleashing terrifying attacks. A coffin blocked Prime Minister Turtle and the other 4 universe supremacies. This coffin is not simple. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and flew above the coffin in an instant. The 5 elements grindstone came under him and pressed down on the coffin. Ka. Sensing a strong threat, the coffin lid suddenly opened and a stream of yellow sand rushed towards the 5 elements grindstone. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and waved his dragon claws. The power of 5 elements landed on the 5 elements grindstone. Boom. The 5 divine dragons on the 5 elements grindstone revolved, and the destructive power of the 5 elements surged towards the sandstorm. With a dull sound, the sand flow was slowly suppressed and fell into the coffin lid. Boom. In the end, the 5 elements grindstone landed on top of the coffin and completely suppressed it. This coffin is extraordinary. It should be at the pinnacle of acquired spiritual treasures. When Wang Xian sensed the aura coming from the coffin, he was shocked. A group of God King level skeletons sacrificed to the coffin was actually able to erupt with such a terrifying might. Bury the heavens. Soon, Wang Xian received information about the coffin from the 5 elements grindstone. This name is really domineering. I wonder if the 5 elements grindstone can evolve after devouring it. But it shouldn't be a problem. Wang Xian scanned the surroundings. This time, the Dragon Palace could obtain more than a dozen acquired spiritual treasures after killing the universe supremacies of the 3 races. Among them, more than half were of the 5 elements. Kill everyone from the skeleton race, 9 swords race and brutality race. At this time, Prime Minister Turtle ordered. The last line of defense of the coffin was suppressed by Wang Xian. There were still some disciples from the 3 races on the Skull Island. As the command sounded, the 5 universe supremacies of the Dragon Palace led the charge. Escape? There was no way to escape. How could this be? We can't accept this. We can't accept this. We have already escaped. Why did we return? What? The disciples from the 9 swords race were filled with indignation and helplessness when they saw this. Why was the Dragon Palace so strong? Why did they return? They wouldn't have perished if they didn't return. This was fate. It was all because the Dragon Palace was too strong. Next, some disciples from the three races couldn't put up any resistance at all. They were being hunted down rapidly. Wang Xian looked on coldly. 20 minutes later, accompanied by a roar filled with unwillingness, a gigantic body fell toward the bottom of the Milky Way, announcing the end of this battle. The huge dragon skeleton was completely annihilated under the siege. On the Skull Island ahead, all the people from the three races were annihilated. The skeleton race suffered the most. All their clansmen were annihilated. Clean up the battlefield and bring the Skull Island to the front of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile as he watched the end of the battle. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle answered immediately. The universe supremacies of the Dragon Palace flew over. Wang Xian hovered in the air and swept his gaze across the crowd that was watching the battle. Everyone around him felt Wang Xian's gaze and felt a chill in their hearts. Congratulations to the Dragon King for slaying a strong enemy. Congratulations to the Dragon Palace for achieving victory. Congratulations to the Dragon King for slaying a strong enemy. Congratulations to the Dragon Palace for achieving victory. The supremacies of the dense fog race looked at each other and bowed respectfully with their fists cupped. Congratulations to the Dragon King for slaying a strong enemy. Congratulations to the Dragon Palace for achieving victory. The surrounding experts hurriedly followed suit and bowed in greeting. The Dragon Palace had fought 1 against 3, and only the leader of the Shueli clan escaped. With such strength, it could be said that the Dragon Palace could annihilate all the powerful races in the Milky Way. With such terrifying strength, they were an invincible existence in the Milky Way. Even the dense fog race had to lower their heads and show respect. From now on, killing any innocent alternative dragons is prohibited in the Milky Way. Anyone who violates this rule will be annihilated. Wang Xian looked at them and announced plainly, Yes, Dragon King. We will follow the orders of the Dragon Palace. As soon as Wang Xian finished his sentence, the universe supremacies immediately echoed. We will follow the orders of the Dragon Palace. The rest of them quickly responded. Wang Xian nodded his head plainly. He looked at Willow Deity behind him and revealed a smile. Thank you for your help this time, Willow Deity. Please. He flew in front of Willow Deity and gestured. You don't have to be so courteous, Dragon King. Willow Deity smiled and followed Wang Xian into the Dragon Palace. Clean up the battlefield and return to the Dragon Palace to celebrate. Prime Minister Turtle's voice sounded. Following which, he shouted, The Dragon Palace is invincible. The Dragon Palace is invincible. Chapter 3162, Dragon Palace is invincible. A voice filled with strong confidence and battle intent reverberated across the Milky Way. When the spectators heard this voice, they were shocked and resonated with it. Invincible in one battle. In this battle, Dragon Palace fought 1 against 3. In addition to the 2 supremacies from the ancient painting sect, they were all annihilated. Their strength was shocking. The roar of the divine dragon was deeply imprinted in their minds. From today onwards, Dragon Palace would be an existence that no one would dare to offend in the entire Milky Way. Let's go back. The group of supremacies did not linger any longer as they turned and left. Although the Dragon Palace was powerful now, they also had a powerful enemy. In the ancient painting sect, Dragon Palace had killed 3 rank 2 supremacies from the ancient painting sect. Both parties had a deep hatred for each other. A war was likely to break out between both parties. As for who would win, no one could say for sure. They could not participate in a war of this level. Venerable Willow Deity, thank you for your help this time. In the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian thanked Venerable Willow Deity once again. The fruit that Dragon King gifted me previously allowed me to break through. Now that Dragon Palace is in trouble, I, Willow Deity, will naturally lend a helping hand. Venerable Willow Deity shook her head and smiled. No matter what, I still have to thank you. Wang Xian smiled and continued to express his gratitude as he led her into the Dragon King Hall. After entering the Dragon King Hall, Wang Xian waved his arm and the soul return fetal fruit and large amounts of soul return fluid flew into his hands. Venerable Willow Deity, this is a small token of appreciation. As he spoke, he handed the fruit to Venerable Willow Deity. At this moment, Venerable Willow Deity did not care about the soul return fetal fruit and vitality fluid in Wang Xian's hands. Her eyes were burning with excitement as she stared at the progenitor tree behind the dragon throne. Her body was trembling slightly. Seeing his reaction, Wang Xian smiled faintly and didn't say anything. Dragon King, we have gathered all the cosmos god nations that Dragon Palace needs. At this moment, Prime Minister Turtle walked over and reported to Wang Xian. Dragon Palace had already gathered a few Cosmos God nations not long ago. Now, after killing over 20 supremacies from 3 different races, they had gathered all 9 Cosmos God nations. The main reason why they could gather all of them was because of the skeleton race. They traveled from the Skull Island. All the divine nations of the skeleton clan were on the Skull Island. Skeletons had more than one attribute. Just like the skeleton clan's patriarch, his golden skeleton was of the metal attribute. Alright, let's level up. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. With a thought, a message appeared in his mind. Congratulations, host. Dragon Palace has swallowed the 9 elemental Cosmos God countries and is evolving. Great. He waited quietly. Boom. A rumbling sound came from the Dragon Palace, and a vast amount of energy surged out. A dragon's roar resounded throughout the Dragon Palace. The entire Dragon Palace began to slowly undergo earth-shaking changes. This is? At the side, Willow Deity recovered from the shock of the progenitor tree and looked at Wang Xian with astonishment. The Dragon Palace is undergoing another upgrade. Wang Xian reminded her. Then the changes began. All the buildings began to expand, and the area of the Dragon Palace expanded at a terrifying speed. The godly sea steadying needle shot up into the sky, and the dragons on the dragon pillars seemed to come to life, growing rapidly. Everything was undergoing a huge upgrade. Sensing the changes in the Dragon Palace, Willow Deity was astonished. Ding. Congratulations, host. Dragon Palace has been upgraded to the Hotian realm. The system's voice sounded in Wang Xian's mind. Upon hearing this, he was moved. Dragon Palace, Hotian Dragon Lord, Wang Xian Void God Emperor 6 Stage 8 Colored Divine Dragon, Buildings, Dragon King Hall. Hotian increases Dragon King's cultivation speed and recovery speed by 3,072 times. Dragon Transformation Pool. Hotian absorbs dragon blood to produce dragon species. Dragon Gate. Hotian fish leaps through the dragon gate to become a dragon. Effective for creatures below the Universe Dominator level. Godly Sea Steadying Needle. Hotian Dragon Palace's pillar stabilizes 80 million kilometers of the Dragon Palace and increases the combat power of the members of the Dragon Palace. Dragon Cave. Hotian with 100 million dragon caves. The cultivation speed of the creatures in the Dragon Palace will be increased by 2,048 times. Dragon Field. Hotian, Dragon Field Drill, increases comprehension by 1,024 times. Dragon Formation. Hotian Dragon Palace Great Formation. Concealment, Defense, Spiritual Energy Gathering Wormhole Detection Attack. Spiritual Items. Progenitor Tree, Heaven Origin Fortune Attachment. Dragon Transformation Pool to nurture dragon species. Current dragon species. Golden Swordfish, Thunder Shrimp, Devil Monkey, Mysterious Demon, Light Thorn, Hydra, Dragon Turtle, Yuksha, Clam Girl, Golden Lobster, Starwood Dragon Species, Fire Phoenix Species. Special Buildings. Dragon Nest, Devouring Dragon, Nun, Devouring Dragon. Consumes energy to create its own kind of insect species. The mother insect feeds on various metal materials. Progenitor Tree, Heaven Origin Fortune Branch. Soul Returning Wood Branch, Dominator level, has soul returning fruit. Can currently return souls to creatures below the Universe Dominator level. Parasol Tree Branch, Venerable level, has Phoenix Nest, Nirvana Ground. Boundless Tree Branch, Venerable level, has Boundless Fruit. Can currently increase the speed of fire attribute cultivators by 800%. Everlasting Tree Branch, Venerable level, has Everlasting Fruit. Can unlock the intelligence of living creatures. Nirvana Thunder Tree Branch, Venerable level, has Nirvana Thunder Fruit. Can increase the speed of thunder attribute cultivators by 800%. Fruit, Immortal Slaying Gourd, Dominator level, can currently nurture 4 types of attributes. Ability, 1. Can resurrect all wood attribute plants. As the energy of the progenitor tree increases, it can increase the level of the branch. Subsidiary, Ancient Pool Moon Bay Venerable level, can rapidly recover from injuries and irreversible injuries. The information of the Dragon Palace flashed in his mind. The Dragon Palace had been upgraded from level 9 to the Acquired Realm. This was something he had known for a long time. The Acquired Realm corresponded to acquired spiritual treasures and acquired cardinal treasures. The Acquired Realm of the Divine Dragon Palace was considered very strong. When the Divine Dragon race was at its peak, most of the Dragon Palaces were at this level. As for those above that level, there were less than 10. After the Dragon Palace was upgraded to the acquired realm, it covered an area of 50 million kilometers. This area wasn't huge in the universe, but it wasn't small either. Considering the 2 million members of the Dragon Palace, it wasn't small. With the upgrade of the Dragon Palace, the defense of the Dragon Palace had reached a terrifying level. It could withstand all attacks below the Universe Dominator level. In this starry sky, it could be said to be indestructible. Sensing the surrounding spiritual energy that had condensed into liquid, Wang Xian smiled. This venerable willow deity sensed the changes in the Dragon Palace and the strength of the Dragon Palace. She was shocked. She could sense that this Dragon Palace was dozens or even hundreds of times stronger than the Universe God Nation. Could this be the legendary Divine Dragon Palace? Chapter 3163, Black Spider Lilies and Dragon Bones. Venerable Willow Deity, I would like to invite you to join the Dragon Palace. I wonder if the upgrade of the Dragon Palace was completed bit by bit. Wang Xian looked at the shocked Venerable Willow Deity with a smile. Join the Dragon Palace. Venerable Willow Deity was taken aback as her expression changed. Venerable Willow Deity, you should be able to sense the uniqueness of the Dragon Palace. We are the true descendants of the divine dragons. We have purebred divine dragons and powerful wood-based supreme treasures. If Venerable Willow Deity were to join the Dragon Palace, you would be able to evolve once again. At the very least, you would be able to fight beyond your level. Wang Xian smiled at Venerable Willow Deity. What's that wood-based supreme treasure ahead? Venerable Willow Deity pursed her lips, looked at the progenitor tree ahead and asked. A powerful supreme treasure. Forgive me for not being able to tell you. Wang Xian shook his head. Alright, I'm willing to join the Dragon Palace. Venerable Willow Deity hesitated for a moment before nodding. Now that she had helped the Dragon Palace, many people felt that she was already tied to the Dragon Palace. Moreover, because of her help, 2 venerables from the ancient painting sect were killed. Indirectly, she had also formed a feud with the ancient painting sect. Given the strength of the ancient painting sect, she was no match for them. Joining the Dragon Palace was a better choice. Of course, the most important thing was that she felt a fatal temptation from the divine tree behind the dragon throne. An item that could make her tremble was definitely not simple. Alright, Venerable Willow Deity, now that you have joined the Dragon Palace, go to the Dragon Transformation Pool to undergo your transformation. As Wang Xian spoke, he led her towards the Dragon Transformation Pool. When Venerable Willow Deity came to the Dragon Transformation Pool, she could sense a majestic aura of the Divine Dragon. Sensing the massive amount of dragon blood in the Dragon Transformation Pool, her eyes were filled with astonishment. In the past, some powerful forces had hunted the Azure Dragons for some dragon blood. Now, the dragon blood in front of her was enough to make everyone go crazy. However, what she did not know was that the dragon blood was extracted from the corpses of the 3 races. Although there were still many corpses that had yet to be digested, there were at least 10 venerables of the universe. Venerable Willow Deity, you just need to complete your transformation. Don't absorb too much dragon blood for now. Wang Xian reminded her. Now that Willow Deity was at the universe rank 3 venerable realm, her transformation wouldn't consume too much dragon blood. However, if he were to use it to upgrade it, the resources he had obtained this time would not be enough. Alright. Willow Deity nodded. Suddenly, with a thought, dragon scales appeared in its palm. Dragon King, these are the dragon scales I took from the leader of the bloodthirsty race. As she spoke, she passed it to Wang Xian. Wang Xian was slightly taken aback. Looking at the scales that were obviously from the Azure Dragon, he hesitated. Take it first. Let's see if we can use it when we transform later. His eyes flashed as he spoke. Alright. Willow Deity nodded and flew directly into the Dragon Transformation Pool. In the Dragon Transformation Pool, there were still many members of Dragon Palace advancing. With that dragon scale, Venerable Willow Deity should be able to obtain a significant improvement. I hope there will be some surprises. Seeing Willow Deity enter the Dragon Transformation Pool, he murmured. With a flash, he arrived at the Dragon King Hall. Dragon King. At this time, Prime Minister Turtle and a group of Dragon Palace leaders were waiting in the Dragon King Hall. In the center of the Dragon King Hall, there were many treasures. There were more than a dozen acquired spiritual treasures that emitted powerful energy. There were also a large number of skulls that contained special energy in the boxes. There were also various other divine equipment. The most eye-catching one was the skeleton placed in the center. That was the skeleton of a real divine dragon. To be able to give a skeleton the fighting strength of a rank 3 universe supremacy, this divine dragon must have been at least a rank 8 or 9 universe supremacy. It might even be at the level of a universe supremacy. From the attributes, it should be a divine dragon of the earth attribute. What's the reward from this battle? Wang Xian squinted his eyes and asked as he swept his gaze across the treasures in the Dragon King Hall. Yes, Dragon King. These are the more precious items that we have obtained. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Wang Xian moved and flew to the front of the dragon skeleton. His eyes flickered as he tried to sense it. This was the first time he had seen the dragon skeleton of a purebred divine dragon. When his palm landed on it, he immediately felt a blood connection. Ding! Detected the bone of a purebred divine dragon. Do you want to absorb it? The system's voice sounded. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and was pleasantly surprised. This massive dragon skeleton should be able to help him improve. Dragon King, other than this dragon skeleton, we have also discovered a large number of such skulls on the Skull Island. These skulls contain extremely powerful energy. Prime Minister Turtle walked over and handed him a skull. He was a little surprised. Wang Xian nodded and took it. Feeling the energy coming from it, he clicked his tongue. What are these skulls used for? They can be used as a powerful divine equipment. They can also be used to form new skeletons. Prime Minister Turtle continued, these skeletons can be converted into dragon blood. Wang Xian nodded and looked to the side. With a wave of his arm, he kept half of the acquired spiritual treasures for the 5 elements grindstone to absorb. The remaining ones were up to them to distribute. Dragon King, there's another mystical item here. We obtained it from the deepest part of the Skull Clan's treasure vault. At this time, Prime Minister Turtle opened a box with a black flower in it. Buzz buzz. Buzz buzz. All of a sudden, a depraved sound came from the flower. The sound was filled with all sorts of murmurs, evil and filth. This caused Wang Xian to be slightly dazed. His eyes were filled with shock. What's this? His pupils constricted as he sized it up carefully. There was a tinge of fear in him. A black flower could make him feel evil and depraved. Black-red spider lilies, universe dominator level, dead. At this time, the system's voice sounded in his head. He narrowed his eyes. Black-red spider lilies? I've only heard of the radiant red spider lilies. Wang Xian was puzzled. There was no information about the black-red spider lilies in the Divine Dragon Legacy. However, he knew about the radiant red spider lilies. He knew about the radiant red spider lilies from the records of the Crescent Moon Reverend. According to the records of the Crescent Moon Reverend, the radiant red spider lilies were the ultimate treasures of the Angel Clan. Such an ultimate treasure could greatly increase the combat power of the Radiant Angels. It could make people submit to it after hearing the holy words. Radiant red spider lilies and black red spider lilies. It seems like these are probably treasures of the same level. Even though the radiant red spider lilies are dead, they still possess such abilities. It's not simple. He mumbled to himself as he gradually got used to the depraved sound. Recommended book? I have a book called Investiture of the Gods. So good. It's even better than my writing. Chapter 3164, Breakthrough. When Wang Xian held the black flower of the red spider lilies in his hand, the progenitor tree behind the dragon throne shuddered slightly as well. The black-red spider lily flew towards the progenitor tree. As for the progenitor tree, it had undergone tremendous changes due to the upgrade of the Dragon Palace. Currently, the progenitor tree was 10,000 meters in length. Although it had few branches, each branch was lush and full of vigor. The progenitor tree extended a branch and the black-red spider lily landed on it. Gradually, it regained its vigor. 111. When the black-red spider lily regained its vigor, a depraved, evil and filthy voice came from within. The voice sounded exceptionally evil, disgusting and unbearable. In fact, if a weakling were to hear it, he or she would go crazy. As the black-red spider lily belonged to Wang Xian and the Dragon Palace, the voice had no effect on Wang Xian or the members of the Dragon Palace. However, they could still sense the evil voice. Dragon King, the voice is unbearable. Legend has it that the Angel Clan has a similar red spider lily. However, the red spider lily can make use of the red spider lily to release energy that can boost one's fighting prowess. The red spider lily is the ultimate treasure of the Angel Clan. This black-red spider lily shouldn't be simple. Laming had clearly heard of the red spider lily. It's indeed creepy. Even our venom horn dragon species feels uncomfortable. Yamada no demon fiend nodded in agreement. Dragon King, can I borrow the red spider lily? The current leader of the Dolphin clan asked. She was also the only member of the Dolphin clan who had advanced to the Universe Supremacy realm. She was the only non-combat member of the Dragon Palace and also the most ordinary dragon species in the Dragon Palace. Sure. Wang Xian didn't reject her and nodded. She flew to the front of the progenitor tree and held the black-red spider lily in her hand. Wang Xian controlled the red spider lily and the progenitor tree to not resist. She held the red spider lily in her hand, closed her eyes and let out a sound. The voice came out from the red spider lily, and a terrifying voice swept out. Uncle Laming, I'm going to attack you with the power of the red spider lily. The leader of the Dolphin clan looked at Laming and said, All right, just come. Laming nodded. Wang Xian and the rest watched from the side. Buzz buzz buzz. The Dolphin leader opened her mouth and black musical notes flew out from her body. The black musical notes slowly turned into black spider lilies and disappeared in the air. Soon after, a wave of sound waves rushed toward Lei Ming. This caused Lei Ming's arm to tighten, and a blood-red light flashed across his eyes. This voice will make me feel hot and angry. It will affect my judgment and actions. I reckon that Level 2 Universe Venerables or even those below Level 2 Universe Venerables, upon hearing this terrifying sound, their combat power will drop greatly. The weaker ones will directly collapse and go crazy. A terrifying power that can affect one's mind. Lei Ming said slowly. The Dolphin leader opened its eyes, and its voice came to an abrupt halt. Its eyes flickered with luster. Very powerful indeed. Does this mean that the red spider lily is a terrifying weapon for the Dolphin race? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and said with a smile. Yes, but it's a pity that there are too few of them. The leader of the Dolphins said. She could use this red spider lily to affect Lei Ming. One could imagine how powerful this black-red spider lily was. Of course, this was also because she was proficient in sound waves. The progenitor tree can allow these red spider lilies to continue growing. Perhaps in the near future, more black-red spider lilies will grow on the progenitor tree. Wang Xian said as he looked at the various treasures at the side. Other than the black-red spider lily, there were no other mystical items. How many resources did we get this time? Wang Xian looked at Prime Minister Turtle. 23 corpses of Universe Venerables. 8 of them were Rank 2 Universe Venerables, and the Universe God Nation of the Skeleton Race Venerables. As for the remaining Emperor God corpses, there are about 2 million. Especially the Skeleton Race, all of them have been annihilated. As for the God King corpses, there are tens of billions of them. Moreover, the God Nation of the Skeleton Race is on the Skull Island. This time, the Devouring Dragon will get a significant boost. There are all sorts of divine weapons and treasures. There are also 4 to 5 that can go against Universe Venerables. Currently we have yet to clear them all. Prime Minister Turtle said with a smile. Wang Xian revealed a satisfied look. The Dragon Palace's harvest this time round was the greatest in its history. He had no idea how much the Dragon Palace could improve. Next, let's celebrate and get all the members to improve their strength. Although we have won this war, we still have a potential enemy, the Ancient Painting Sect. Wang Xian said. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle and the rest nodded. Over the next 2 days, the Dragon Palace celebrated their victory and sorted out the spoils of the war. 2 days later, all the members began to improve their resources. Wang Xian was in the Dragon King Hall. At this moment, he had transformed into his divine dragon form and was lying beside the dragon bones. He wanted to absorb the Dragon Palace. The dragon bones turned into dragon blood and entered Wang Xian's body rapidly. Because it was a purebred divine dragon bone, the speed of the dragon energy conversion was extremely fast. Sensing the massive energy, Wang Xian revealed an excited look on his face. His eyes were glowing as he absorbed the dragon energy rapidly. The dragon energy in his body was increasing at a terrifying speed. Ka. 1 day later, Wang Xian's dragon body began to change. A more majestic aura was emitted from his body. On his body, the dense 8-colored radiance contained traces of lightning energy. From afar it looked extremely mystical. The 8-colored radiance gradually condensed into the illusory figures of divine dragons. The divine dragons were very small and were only the size of dragon scales. Each divine dragon floated above a dragon scale, densely packed together. Ding. Congratulations to host for breaking through to the 7th Order Void God Emperor. Ding. Congratulations to host for comprehending the laws of God ability. Dragon Tomb. Name, Wang Xian Race, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Divine Dragon, one with the Dragon, rank. 7th Order Void God Emperor, 8th Transformation of Divine Dragon Transformation, origin source. 1%, 99% required for next breakthrough, superpower. Dominate the marine animals, rule over marine animals that are lower than your own level, devour living creatures. Extract origin source from living creatures. 5 Elements Control Cultivation Technique, Divine Dragon Transformation Superpower, Soul Assimilation, Spirit Attachment Nomological Divine Abilities, Dragon Eye Lock, 5 Elements Dragon Claw, Yin-Yang World Breaker, 8 Glory Dragon Scale, Holy Dragon Shadow, Subduing Dragon, Dragon Tomb Dharma Form. 5 Elements Grindstone, Dragon Country in the Palm, Dragon Head Descending, 10,000 Mile Dragon Body, Yin-Yang Polarity, Yin-Yang 5 Elemental Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Whip. Law of Mastery, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, Dark Wind Divine Kingdom. Dragon Palace Possess Dragon Palace. Acquired. Dragon Palace Members. 11344550. The voice of the system sounded. Wang Xian looked at the information in his head and revealed a smile. He broke through. The title of the book was, I Have a Book of Investiture of the Gods. It was very interesting and the author was also reading it. Click Favorites to vote. End of chapter. Chapter 3165. Heavenly Dragon Tribe, Breakthrough. Wang Xian's dragon body coiled in the Dragon King Palace with a smile on his face. The breakthrough in his strength made him comparable to a rank 3 Universe Venerable. In terms of combat power, he could kill a rank 3 Universe Venerable instantly with his terrifying speed. At the side, the 5 Elements Grindstone was absorbing the acquired spiritual treasures. Together with the powerful sky-burying spiritual treasure, the 5 Elements Grindstone would definitely be enhanced. After the enhancement, the 5 Elements Grindstone still had the strength to kill a rank 3 Universe Venerable. The enhancement in his strength put him in a good mood. He moved and came to the Dragon Transformation Pool. At this moment, the disciples of Dragon Palace were rapidly absorbing the dragon blood in the Dragon Transformation Pool. On the 9 dragon pillars around the Dragon Transformation Pool, dragon blood continued to flow from the dragon heads. This time the Dragon Palace had gained a lot. All the members of the skeleton tribe, all the skeletons had been transformed into dragon blood. Among the billions of skeletons, some were weak, but with such a large number they were still terrifying. As a result, Wang Xian could not guess how much the Dragon Palace could improve. But presumably this was an extremely terrifying number. He swept his gaze around, flew out of the Dragon Palace and came to the Skull Island. At this moment, Roving Crab was leading the devouring dragon to devour the holy nation of the skeleton tribe. A large number of holy nations could also give them a huge boost in strength. All the members of the Dragon Palace were improving rapidly. Just as the Dragon Palace was improving steadily at the Milky Way, everyone knew about the outcome of the battle. Moreover, the Dense Fog Tribe and a dozen other low-level races in the universe had announced on the artificial intelligence system that they were prohibited from killing the Flood Dragon. This had led to the outcome of the battle. The Dragon Palace and the 3 races fought for 10 days and 10 nights. 10 days later, 2 Universe Venerables from the Ancient Painting Sect helped the 3 races to attack the Dragon Palace. When the scales of victory tilted towards the 3 races, the Venerable Willow Deity helped the Dragon Palace. The Venerable Willow Deity unleashed the terrifying strength of a rank 3 Universe Venerable to help the Dragon Palace annihilate the 3 races. The Venerable Willow Deity is too strong. He actually helped the Dragon Palace. This means that the Venerable Willow Deity will be on the same side as the Dragon Palace in the future. The terrifying strength that the Dragon Palace displayed this time is enough to shake the entire Milky Way. No forces are a match for them. When the rest of the people in Yin received the news, their faces were filled with shock. The Dragon Palace annihilated the 3 clans. In this battle, the Skeleton Tribe was annihilated, and the Nine Swords Tribe was completely destroyed. When the disciples of the Nine Swords race, who were still rushing towards the Milky Way, heard this news, they immediately broke down. All the universe supremacies and powerhouses of their race had died in battle. The current strength of the Nine Swords race was not even comparable to a domain-level race. This caused the Nine Swords race to disband. The 2 races of the universe had completely disappeared. As for the bloodthirsty race, although the Milky Way citizens did not know much about them, they must have suffered heavy losses. On the 3rd day after the Dragon Palace annihilated the 3 clans and the Ancient Painting Sect's 2 universe supremacies, figures exuding boundless might were traversing the vast starry sky. The two old men in the lead were standing on top of a simple and unadorned ancient painting. There were mountains and rivers on the ancient painting, and they looked magnificent. The group of 50 people moved at a terrifying speed. However, at this moment, when the leading old man on the ancient painting received a message from the AI, he frowned slightly and his expression changed. He waved his hand and the surrounding people immediately stopped. What happened to the sect? The old man beside him asked faintly. The rest of the people immediately looked over. These 50 people were the experts of the ancient painting sect, 50 universe supremacies. Their target this time was naturally the Dragon Palace. The ancient painting sect's deputy sect leader had been annihilated, and a descendant of the sect leader had been killed. This enmity was something the ancient painting sect had to avenge. The 9 swords, skeleton, and the bloodthirsty race have been annihilated, and the left and right protectors have also been killed. The willow deity from the Milky Way side has lent a hand to the Dragon Palace. That willow deity has the strength of a rank 3 universe supremacy. Currently, the Dragon Palace has 2 rank 3 universe supremacies. The ancient painting sect's sect leader frowned and said with an ugly expression on his face, "What? Isn't the willow deity from the Milky Way a peak rank 2 universe supremacy? She actually broke through? And even stood together with the Dragon Palace?" One of the ancient painting sect's supremacies had a slight change in expression when he heard this. 2 rank 3 universe supremacies, and they are powerful purebred divine dragons. This is troublesome. The old man on the right ancient painting had a solemn expression on his face. This time they were originally prepared to fly over and annihilate the Dragon Palace, but they received this news. 2 rank 3 universe supremacies, and the remaining 40 supremacies. This terrifying force was not something they could annihilate. The atmosphere was tense and the 50 people's expressions were ugly. Sect leader, what should we do now? Are we not going to avenge this? One of the universe supremacies could not help but ask with an ugly expression. Just based on our strength, it will be difficult to annihilate the Dragon Palace. The ancient painting sect's sect leader shook his head, looking at the information on the AI, his eyes flashed. The Dragon Palace has many purebred divine dragons. Are they really purebred divine dragons? According to the news we received, the Dragon Palace is developing very quickly. Did they really obtain the inheritance of a powerful divine dragon? One of the universe supremacies asked in shock. They should be purebred divine dragons. I will contact the heavenly dragon race and see if they are willing to help. The ancient painting sect's sect leader hesitated for a moment before saying, Heavenly dragon race? Are they willing to help? The Dragon Palace is also a divine dragon race. Another supremacy said. There are 8 to 9 powerful divine dragon races in the universe. They all want to become true dragons and restore the glory of the divine dragon race. However, the relationship between the divine dragon races is not good. Those who can obtain the inheritance of the divine dragon race and undergo atavism all think that they are the true sons of heaven. How can they be willing to bow down to us? If the heavenly dragon race is like that, then the Dragon Palace should be the same. Given our relationship with the heavenly dragon race, they might be interested. The ancient painting sect's sect leader said plainly. I really envy the races with powerful bloodlines. Back then, the heavenly dragon race tried to curry favor with us. Now, after a few 100 million years, their strength has far surpassed us. However, the heavenly dragon race does not seem to have any purebred divine dragons. Their strength is also the weakest among the divine dragon races. Now that the Dragon Palace has a purebred divine dragon, maybe? The old man beside the ancient painting sect's sect leader murmured. His eyes were shining brightly. Isn't the book recommended yesterday very good? Haha, it should be comparable to a divine dragon. Let me recommend it again. Title, I have an investiture of the gods. You can vote for this book. Thank you very much. Chapter 3166. A double breakthrough. There were 10 divine dragon lineages and dragon palaces in the universe. These 10 divine dragon lineages were not on good terms with each other. There had even been wars. All the leaders of the divine dragon lineages wanted to become the true dragon emperor, the king of the divine dragons, and lead the divine dragon race to glory again. However, who was willing to bow down to them? It was especially so for those who had obtained the opportunities of divine dragons and underwent atavism. They had cultivated to this stage and became powerful leaders. They were confident that they could lead the divine dragon race to the pinnacle again. This caused them to be unwilling to accept each other, and they wanted to subdue each other. There was a war. The divine dragon race was relatively weak among the divine dragon lineages. They did not have any purebred divine dragons. To a certain extent, they were even weaker than the Dragon Palace. The ancient painting sect had passed the information about the Dragon Palace to them. Perhaps they would be willing to help. Not for anything else but to covet the purebred divine dragon bloodline of the Dragon Palace. Let's go. We'll make a trip to the Milky Way and find out the exact situation. It would be best if we can set up a teleportation formation. The ancient painting sect leader looked across the group of supremacies and said, "Yes, sect leader." The group of ancient painting sect supremacies nodded and continued to fly forward. Just as the outside world was in an uproar, Wang Xian was smiling as he watched the members of the Dragon Palace improve rapidly. On the 6th day, Wang Xian, who was sitting on the dragon throne, suddenly felt the progenitor tree behind him tremble slightly. He squinted his eyes and sensed it immediately. When he saw the celestial slaying gourd on the progenitor tree tremble, he was slightly stunned. He could feel the celestial slaying gourd being attracted. However, as the celestial slaying gourd belonged to him, it did not fly over. With a thought, Wang Xian released the celestial slaying gourd. Swish! The celestial slaying gourd flew out from the progenitor tree and towards the dragon transformation pool. Wang Xian moved and immediately came to the dragon transformation pool. Within the dragon transformation pool, a willow tree stood in the middle. The willow tree was tens of thousands of meters long and had countless weeping willows. At this moment, there were strange leaves on the weeping willow. The leaves were like dragon scales and gave off a crisp sound. The immortal slaying gourd flew to the top of the willow tree and slowly merged with it. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he looked at willow deity, which had undergone a huge transformation. The willow leaves that looked like dragon scales were the dragon scales that venerable willow deity had obtained from the bloodthirsty race's patriarch. The dragon scales turned into leaves, greatly increasing its attack power. The immortal slaying gourd landed on her body, allowing her to control the immortal slaying gourd. The immortal slaying gourd was a ruler-level divine artifact. In terms of rank, it could be classified as a Khanate cardinal treasure. It was definitely a terrifying killing weapon. However, the immortal slaying gourd had yet to fully mature and had yet to fully recover. The venerable willow deity's realm seems to have dropped, but her aura is even more terrifying. She should be able to reach the power of a rank 4 universe venerable, right? Wang Xian looked over and couldn't help but guess. If willow deity could have the combat power of a rank 4 universe venerable, then the Dragon Palace would have a huge upgrade. A level 4 venerable, such an expert was definitely at the pinnacle of all the lower-tier races in the universe. If the Dragon Palace could have over 1,000 venerables, with the universe venerables level 4 as a guide, the Dragon Palace could become a middle-tier race in the universe. However, it wouldn't be as easy to become a middle-tier race in the universe. Wang Xian pondered. Over the next few days, he assisted the 5 Elements Grindstone in devouring various postnatal spiritual treasures. He was waiting for the members of the Dragon Palace to upgrade completely. Time passed day by day. At this very moment, in a starry sky that was extremely far away. This was a very mystical place. The endless mountain peaks pierced the sky. A vast ocean had submerged half of the mountain peaks. The ocean was extremely clear. Looking over, one could see all kinds of creatures swimming in the water. On the mountain peaks, some of them were covered in ice and snow, with beautiful flowers growing on them. In the ocean below there was also a humongous dragon palace. However, this dragon palace was called the Heavenly Dragon Palace. The Heavenly Dragon Palace was the palace of the Heavenly Dragon Clan. The Heavenly Dragon Clan hadn't risen for a long time, only a few 100 million years. However, in these few 100 million years, they had established themselves in this void and reached the pinnacle of this starry sky. Here, among the 50 to 60 lower-tier races in the universe, the Heavenly Dragon Clan could be ranked in the top 3. Their formidable strength and terrifying speed of improvement had everyone in awe. Purebred Divine Dragon. At this moment, in the Dragon King Hall of the Heavenly Dragon Palace, a middle-aged man with sharp horns on his head and wearing a dragon robe was sitting on the dragon throne. His eyes were flickering as he looked at the information on the universe AI. If the members of the Dragon Palace saw the Heavenly Dragon Palace and the Dragon King Hall, they would realize that the layout was exactly the same as the Dragon Palace. This meant that the Heavenly Dragon Clan had obtained the true legacy of the Divine Dragons. Heavenly Dragon King. According to the videos and pictures from the ancient painting sect, the Thunder Dragon and Wind Divine Dragon in the Dragon Palace are most likely purebred divine dragons. And the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace seems to have an extraordinary bloodline as well. On the left and right of the Dragon King Hall, there were many people with sharp horns. The old man on the right, who was the leader, said, "Who would have expected a small divine dragon lineage to have a purebred divine dragon? These are purebred divine dragons." Several middle-aged men with sharp horns on their heads exclaimed as their eyes shone with passion. The ancient painting sect's intention is clear. They want us to join them in annihilating the Dragon Palace. The old woman on the left, who was the leader, said faintly, "The purebred divine dragon bloodline is very attractive to us, but at the same time, it also greatly suppresses us. If we fight at the same level, we won't be their match." The old man on the right added, "The Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace is about to open." The leader, Heavenly Dragon King, suddenly said, "There are still 3 years. 3 years later, the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace will open. This time there will probably be many sea demons and aquatic creatures coming." The old woman on the left replied immediately, "Send this news to the Dragon Palace. Duke Tianlong, Mother Tianlong, follow me." Dragon King Tianlong said as he stood up slowly and flew towards the back. The two old men on the left and right moved and immediately followed behind. In front of them was a huge mountain. The top half of the mountain was above the sea and the bottom half was at the bottom of the sea. On the mountain, there was a huge word "Forbidden" written. When Duke Tianlong and Mother Tianlong saw Dragon King Tianlong bringing them here, they were slightly shocked. "Lord Dragon King Tianlong, you brought us here?" The two looked ahead solemnly and asked. This was the forbidden area of the Heavenly Dragon clan. Purebred bloodline, the lifelong pursuit of our divine dragon lineage. This Dragon King also wants to have a purebred bloodline. He murmured, "Dragon King Tianlong, you want to use that heaven-stealing meridian-changing forbidden item?" The two were shocked. Chapter 3167. Sect Leader, has the Heavenly Dragon Tribe replied? At the edge of the Milky Way, 50 figures were floating in the sky. An old man saw the sect leader frowning and immediately asked. They replied, "The Heavenly Dragon King wants us to wait for 3 years. After 3 years we will wait for their news." The ancient painting sect's sect leader frowned as he spoke. 3 years? What does the Heavenly Dragon Tribe want 3 years for? Are they helping us or not? The old man said, "In 3 years the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace will open. Every time the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace opens, it's a feast for water-kind spirit creatures in the surrounding starry void. The sky dragons rose because of the Sky Ocean Dragon Palace." A white-haired old man pondered before continuing, "The Heavenly Dragon Tribe did not reject it. This means that they are still coveting the Dragon Palace. After all, the Dragon Palace is weaker than them, but they have purebred divine dragons. As for why they are waiting for the Sky Sea Dragon Palace to open, perhaps they have their own plans." As he spoke, he looked at the sect leader. "We can still wait for 3 years." The ancient painting sect leader nodded. "However, we can't do nothing in these 3 years. Connect the array here. 3 years is enough." "Yes, sect leader." The venerables of the ancient painting sects nodded. Given their strength, they could do nothing to the Dragon Palace. They could only wait for the Heavenly Dragon Tribe to help them. 3 years was just a snap of the fingers to them. They could afford to wait. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Days passed. Within the Dragon Palace, a majestic aura was coming from the Dragon Transformation Pool. Swish, swish, swish. Sensing the majestic aura, Wang Xian and the leaders of the Dragon Palace flew over immediately. Above the Dragon Transformation Pool, Venerable Willow Deity was floating in the air. Her humanoid body seemed to be draped with a layer of weeping willow clothes. The entire weeping willow clothes were tens of thousands of meters long, and each weeping willow was covered with dragon scales. On top of her head there was a calabash. The calabash was small, palm-sized, and looked like an ornament. Venerable Willow Deity has completed her transformation? Damn, what a powerful aura. She should be comparable to a rank 4 universe venerable now, right? A surprised voice came out from Emo Sha's mouth as he looked on in shock. Willow Deity's realm has dropped, he's only a universe level 1, but he can fight 3 levels higher, comparable to a universe level 4. Sensing the strength of Willow Deity, Wang Xian chuckled. TSK, TSK, TSK. He's really powerful. He's not bad looking. Devil Fiend clicked his tongue. Demon Fiend, you can go after him. Speaking of which, our Dragon Palace hasn't given birth to a dragon yet. I think we can hold a blind date in the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Turtle joked in a good mood. Hee hee, I think Prime Minister Turtle needs to find a female turtle first. Mo Sha teased. Wang Xian chuckled at their words. Indeed, the current members of the Dragon Palace were all outsiders. When would the members of the Dragon Palace directly marry and give birth to a new dragon? He was looking forward to it. Greetings, Dragon King. Willow deity completed its advancement and looked at Wang Xian. It immediately flew over and bowed respectfully. Yes, get up. How about it? Wang Xian looked at her with satisfaction and asked. Dragon King, although my realm has dropped, my strength has improved. I'm a rank 4 universe venerable now. I can kill him. Willow deity said confidently. Great. Wang Xian nodded in satisfaction. Replacing willow leaves with dragon scales and a killing weapon like the immortal slaying gourd. Willow deity's strength had reached a terrifying level. The other members of the Dragon Palace are almost done with their advancement. Wang Xian looked into the dragon transformation pool and his eyes shone brightly. In the next few days, the members of the Dragon Palace started making breakthroughs. Every day, the Dragon Palace would emit waves of majestic aura. This was a breakthrough that belonged to the Universe Venerables. The Dragon Palace originally had 40 Universe Venerables. After a month, the number of Universe Venerables in the Dragon Palace had reached 80. It had doubled. Over 20 corpses of Universe Venerables and over 100 peak Void God Emperor corpses. In addition to a large amount of resources, the number of Universe Venerables in the Dragon Palace had doubled. And the number of Rank 2 Universe Venerables in the Dragon Palace had also increased by 7. It was a pity that other than Wang Xian, the resources obtained this time could not increase the combat power of Rank 3 Universe Venerables in the Dragon Palace. But the advancement this time was already terrifying enough. After all, the addition and breakthrough of Willow Deity had increased the strength of the Dragon Palace to another level. The God Emperor disciples of the Dragon Palace had even more terrifying improvements. The entire Skeleton Clan had over 30,000 experts from the Nine Swords Clan and 1 million elites from the Bloodthirsty Clan. The dragon blood condensed from their corpses was too huge. Even though the Dragon Palace had 1 million members, it was still able to increase their strength to a terrifying level. The 10,000 witch dragons of the Dragon Palace had all reached the Void 9th Order God Emperor combat power with a huge amount of resources. What did this mean? 10,000 witch dragons controlling the Heaven Divination chessboard was comparable to 10,000 peak Void God Emperors. Of course, just the improvement of the witch dragons had consumed 70% of the resources. Such an improvement was also due to the Heaven Divination chessboard. On the Heaven Insight chessboard, 10,000 dragon shamans could even annihilate 100 First Order Universe supremacies. This was the reason why the Dragon Palace consumed 70% of the resources to improve them. But the remaining 30% of the resources had also greatly improved the other members of the Dragon Palace. Currently, the weakest member of the Dragon Palace was a 4th Order God Emperor. In addition, the devouring dragons had devoured all the god nations of the Skeleton Clan and their strength had greatly improved. None of the devouring dragons were weaker than a 3rd Order God Emperor. And this time, the devouring dragon had 1 more Universe Level 2 Venerable and 3 more Universe Level 1 Venerables. The improvement this time was extremely huge for the Dragon Palace. A month later, all the members of the Dragon Palace gathered in the Dragon Field, each of them emitting a powerful aura. Greetings to the Dragon King, the generals of the Dragon Palace. All the members of the Dragon Palace were filled with excitement as they knelt in front of them. Get up. The improvement of the Dragon Palace has allowed us to stand at the pinnacle of the Milky Way. From now on, all the disciples of the Dragon Palace will focus on hunting in the Milky Way. Enjoy the scenery of the universe and consolidate your strength. Wang Xian instructed with a smile. Ever since the Dragon Palace stepped into the center of the universe, they had not had a good rest and interaction with others. Next, Wang Xian wanted the members of the Dragon Palace to consolidate their strength. He wanted the members of the Dragon Palace to enjoy the scenery in the Milky Way. It was also considered a holiday. Chapter 3168. Ever since Wang Xian announced that the Dragon Palace would be settling down, the members of the Dragon Palace had nothing to do. Prime Minister Turtle came up with a plan. Every month, half of the Dragon Palace's combat dragons would go hunting in the Milky Way. He hunted some aquatic wild beasts in the Milky Way. The other half of the members could move within the Dragon Palace or within the Milky Way. This made the members of Dragon Palace completely relaxed. Ever since the Dragon Palace had developed, the members of the Dragon Palace had spent most of their time cultivating. Now that they had time to go out and play, some disciples of Dragon Palace also became active in the Milky Way. This allowed the disciples of some clans to see the members of the Dragon Palace. Facing the disciples of Dragon Palace, the disciples of the other forces were also full of amazement. Not only because of the strength of Dragon Palace, but also because of the strength of the disciples of Dragon Palace. Time passed day by day, and Enhe's side also completely stabilized. The disciples of the Dragon Palace were active in the Milky Way. Every month, a large number of wild beasts in the water were hunted by the Dragon Palace. The universe venerable level desolate beasts in the few powerful places in the Milky Way were also subdued by the Dragon Palace. Among them, 2 level 2 universe venerable wild beasts were subdued by Wuxia. Under Dark Lie's guidance, they came to another part of the galaxy to sell their items. Wuxia and the rest were no strangers to this starry sky. This was the starry sky where the ancient painting sect was located. In this area, the starry sky's spirit chi was relatively rich, and 50 to 60 of the universe's primary races gathered here. Moreover, there were 4th order venerable realm powerhouses in this part of the universe. Wuxia and the rest had put the battlefield of the universe supremacy level up for sale here. During the auction, it had caused a huge commotion. 2 second-rank venerable rank battle pets allowed the Dragon Palace to obtain a large amount of resources. In these 2 years, the number of Dragon Palace Universe Venerables increased by 10, and the number of Level 3 Universe Venerables increased by 2. One was the Heavenly Formation and the other was the Orochi. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye in the universe. But in the past 2 years, the Dragon Palace had been improving at a fast pace. However, over the past 2 years, the Dragon Palace had hunted down a large number of aquatic desolate beasts in the Milky Way. All the supremacies in the universe had been subdued. Dragon King, the resources in the Milky Way have almost been plundered by our Dragon Palace. It will be difficult to continue to improve. 2.5 years later, Wuxia received a report from Prime Minister Turtle. Although the Milky Way is rich in resources, our Dragon Palace is also a bottomless pit. Wuxia said plainly as his eyes flickered. Dragon King, are we going to explore other galaxies next? Prime Minister Turtle hesitated for a moment before speaking. Let's wait a little longer. Don't be too anxious. Let our Dragon Palace members have a good rest. Wuxia shook his head. The Dragon Palace was not in a hurry to relocate. He was prepared to stay in the Milky Way for at least 10 years. 10 years later he would consider going to another starry sky. After all, it had only been 30 to 40 years since the establishment of the Dragon Palace. The other primary races in the universe, which one of them didn't develop for hundreds of millions of years, or even billions of years. Therefore it was good for the Dragon Palace to settle down. All right. Prime Minister Turtle also nodded in agreement. Allowing the members of the Dragon Palace to move around in the universe would be of great benefit to them. Is there any movement from the ancient painting sect? Wuxia asked. Ever since the Dragon Palace wiped out the 3 clans 2 years ago, the ancient painting sect didn't come for revenge, nor did they announce anything on the universe AI. It was as though the Dragon Palace didn't kill the 3 rank 2 supremacies. No, we are too far away from the ancient painting sect. We don't have much information on them. However, given the strength we displayed, the ancient painting sect wouldn't be able to wipe us out. They might not have taken any action if they weren't confident. However, the Dragon Palace still has to be vigilant. Prime Minister Turtle shook his head. Let the disciples of the Dragon Palace outside take note. Wuxia nodded. Since the feud with the ancient painting sect had been formed, they had to take precautions. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Time passed day by day. Occasionally, some primary races from other universes in the Milky Way would pay a visit and present some gifts. Wuxia didn't reject their goodwill and made clear the stance of the Dragon Palace. As long as others didn't bully the Dragon Palace wouldn't bully others. And just 2 months later, a piece of news caused quite a stir in the Milky Way. The news came from the Sky Sea. The Sky Sea was located in the starry sky where the ancient painting sect was located. It was an ocean on a huge land. That piece of land was very big and there were all kinds of demonic beasts living on it. The Sky Sea was also incomparably huge. Although there was a huge gap between it and the Milky Way, the spirit chi there was more abundant than the Milky Way. Most importantly, it was once the residence of a divine dragon. The residence of a powerful purebred divine dragon. There was also a dragon palace there. The rise of the celestial dragon clan was because of that dragon palace. The dragon palace was called the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. It was rumored to be the dragon palace of the Heavenly Sea Dragon King. Once upon a time, the Tianhai Dragon King was one of the overlords of that region of space. In the end, he died and left behind his dragon palace. It was rumored that the dragon palace contained the inheritance of the divine dragon clan. Many powerful existences had entered before, only to return helplessly. There was only one way to enter the heavenly sea dragon palace. The dragon palace opened and he passed through the dragon gate. The Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace opened once every 10,000 years for a month. Rumor had it that those who passed through the Dragon Palace would be able to leap over the Dragon Gate. Every time the Dragon's Gate opened, it was a feast for the demonic beasts. In the past, this news did not cause such a stir in the Milky Way. But this time, for some reason, it caused an uproar. But it also tempted many powerful demonic beasts, especially the demonic beasts of the Water Clan. Leaping through the Dragon's Gate was the dream of many. Moreover, if one could make the Dragon's Gate, it would be easy to join the Dragon Palace. The location of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian was also the first to receive the news. When he saw the content, he was slightly stunned. The ruins of the Heavenly Sea Dragon King's Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace of a powerful divine dragon? This surprised him and his eyes sparkled. He had never seen a dragon palace of a divine dragon. The Heavenly Sea Dragon King's Dragon Palace? Indeed, there are all kinds of opportunities in this vast universe. Wang Xian murmured and revealed a smile. Prime Minister Turtle, send someone to check out the situation of the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. He immediately gave the order. Since he had obtained the ruins of a dragon palace, he naturally had to check it out. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle answered immediately and walked out. Chapter 3169. The Sky Sea Dragon King Dragon Palace was located on the Roaring Dragon Continent. The entire Roaring Dragon Continent was considered a huge continent in the surrounding starry skies. Half of the continent was the ocean. The ocean was called the Sky Sea. The Sky Sea was very famous in the surrounding starry skies because it was where the true dragon lived. The Sky Sea Dragon Palace opened once every 10,000 years. Each time, a large number of demonic beasts would gather, mainly aquatic demonic beasts. The Dragon Palace had opened tens of thousands of times. So far, only demonic beasts could make the Great Leap. This was also why demonic beasts dominated the opening of the Dragon Palace. All kinds of great demons gathered here, wanting to enter the Dragon Palace. Those who could be called great demons were existences of the universe supremacy level. Everyone who was able to enter the Dragon Palace would be able to gain a lot. Even the weakest could be transformed into a sky dragon and achieve a breakthrough in strength. 3 days later, Wang Xian read the information about the Sky Sea Dragon Palace with sparkling eyes. Dragon King, I think we should go and take a look at the opening of the Sky Sea Dragon Palace. The leader of the Sky Dragon clan was a sky dragon. After entering, he obtained great opportunities and established a strong force today. Prime Minister Turtle suggested. We should go and take a look. But I'm a little curious. Why hasn't anyone inherited the Sky Sea Dragon Palace after billions of years? Wang Xian nodded, feeling a little puzzled. The Sky Sea Dragon Palace had been discovered for billions of years. According to records, many existences above rank 5 universe supremacy had come to explore it, but all returned in failure. This made him feel a little strange. Could there be dragons in the Dragon Palace? Or perhaps the owner of the Sky Sea Dragon Palace was a very powerful divine dragon when he was alive. He was so powerful that he was above the universe supremacy level, the universe dominator level. The Dragon Palace of the Universe Dominator level could be so powerful. If it was really a Dragon Palace of the Universe Dominator level, there must be powerful treasures inside. I'll bring Willow Deity over to take a look in a few days. The rest of the members don't have to go. Wang Xian said. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. There was no need to bring too many people to the Sky Sea Dragon Palace ruins. He and Willow Deity were enough. Over the next few days, news about the Sky Sea Dragon Palace was still buzzing in the Milky Way. In the next few days, the news about the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace in the Milky Way was still buzzing. Countless people were talking about it. In addition, the Dragon Palace, which belonged to the divine dragon lineage, had just risen. People were talking about it even more. The Qingzhou trading firm will open a teleportation formation between the Milky Way and the starry skies around the Roaring Dragon Continent for trade. At this moment, a message suddenly spread throughout the Milky Way. When the higher-ups of the various forces saw this message, they were slightly surprised. The Qingzhou trading firm actually opened a teleportation portal between our side and theirs. What a big move. Opening the teleportation formation over such a long distance would probably consume a lot of energy, right? I wonder what kind of big business the Qingzhou Trading Company wants to do. Now that the teleportation array is open, it will be much easier for us to travel to their region of space. As expected of the Qingzhou Trading Firm. They are really generous, but the teleportation fee is so expensive. The opening of the Qingzhou Trading Firm's teleportation formation did not cause too much of a stir, but every powerful race received the news. The best thing about activating the teleportation formation was that it saved time. If one were to travel from the Milky Way to the Qingzhou Trading Company, even a level 1 universe venerable would need a few months to fly. However, if the teleportation array was activated, it would only take 1 day to arrive. In the past, the Milky Way did not have a teleportation array there. The main reason was that the consumption was too great. Even for a primary race in the universe, it wasn't worth it. Perhaps only a large trading company like this would activate a teleportation array of this level. The Qingzhou Trading Firm has opened the teleportation array. What a good timing. In the Dragon King Hall, Wang Xian was pleasantly surprised when he heard the news. Originally he had planned to fly over in 2 days. Now that he had this teleportation array, it would be much more convenient. However, Wang Xian did not intend to stay any longer. In the afternoon he called Willow Deity along, and the two of them flew toward the location of the Qingzhou Trading Firm's teleportation array. Begin teleportation. When he arrived at the teleportation portal, he took out a large number of god stones and handed them over. All right. The powerhouse from the Qingzhou Trading Company nodded and immediately activated the teleportation array. The teleportation formation was located on the silver gazing continent. After entering the teleportation formation, their figures flickered, and they only came out after a full 10 minutes. This time they appeared on top of a meteorite. Because the distance was too far, the Qingzhou Trading Company had no choice but to make a stop midway. While Wang Xian and the others were teleporting, a message was sent to the ancient painting sect. Sect leader, the Dragon King and Willow Deity have arrived. In the main hall of the ancient painting sect, an old man reported to the sect leader of the ancient painting sect. Are they here? The eyes of the sect leader of the ancient painting sect flickered, and he immediately sent the message out. Sect leader, what is the Heavenly Dragon clan doing? They have waited for 3 years and built the teleportation array. I don't understand what they are trying to do with such great efforts. The old man couldn't help but ask. The Heavenly Dragon clan must have a motive for going through such great efforts. It might be related to the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace. Let's wait for news from the Heavenly Dragon clan for now. The Heavenly Dragon King said that they can make their move very soon. The sect leader of the ancient painting sect shook his head. He had no idea what the Heavenly Dragon clan was planning. They're here. In the Heavenly Dragon Palace, the Heavenly Dragon King received the message from the sect leader of the ancient painting sect. His eyes were burning with passion. The opportunity was here. The opportunity for him to transform was here. Heavenly Dragon King, are we going to set up an ambush in the Heavenly Sea Dragon Palace this time? Duke Tianlong, who was in the Heavenly Dragon Palace, asked with flickering eyes. There's no need for that. I have my own plans. Wait for my message. When I give the order, you guys in the ancient painting sect can just destroy the Dragon Palace directly. Remember, capture all the purebred divine dragons in the Dragon Palace alive. Whether you can evolve or not will depend on this. The Heavenly Dragon King's eyes flickered as he spoke to him. Yes, Heavenly Dragon King. Duke Tianlong nodded his head heavily. His eyes were filled with anticipation and agitation. They were merely avatar dragons, and there was still a huge gap between them and purebred divine dragons. If the Heavenly Dragon King could succeed, they would also be able to transform successfully and become true divine dragons. Go and get ready. As the Heavenly Dragon King spoke, he made a move and headed towards the back. He carefully opened the mountain peak that had the word "Forbidden" written on it and entered. Chapter 3170, Heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace. Let's go to the Roaring Dragon Continent. Wang Xian and Willow Deity walked out of the teleporter on a planet. He looked at the route on the universe intelligent brain and said immediately, Dragon King, there's still a month before the opening of the Dragon Palace. Willow Deity said. Yes, there's still a month. However, this is our first time here, so we need to check out the situation here. Let's see what's going on with the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian said. Wang Xian was curious about the dragon palace of a powerful divine dragon. What was the difference between this dragon palace and the one created by the system? Does it also have the powerful functions that the system has in creating the dragon palace? As he thought about it, they flew towards the Roaring Dragon continent. The Roaring Dragon continent was located in the east of this starry sky. It wasn't the first time Wang Xian came to this starry sky, but he didn't stay here for long. The number of experts here was much more than the Milky Way. In fact, a powerful primary race in the universe could wipe out all the forces in the Milky Way. After traveling through the starry sky for 2 hours, a huge continent appeared in his sight. Wang Xian looked over and squinted his eyes. This was a continent that was more than 10 times bigger than the Wangying continent. At this moment he could see figures flying over from the surrounding void. Some of the figures were huge bird-type demonic beasts. Some were rhinoceros-like demonic beasts that rode in the clouds. There were also demonic beasts that galloped in the void like cheetahs. There were all kinds of demonic beasts that exuded a strong murderous aura. There were also demonic beasts that flew in human form. One by one, demonic beasts rushed towards the Roaring Dragon continent from all directions. Wang Xian looked around and realized that many of the demonic beasts were very strong. He could vaguely sense demonic beasts of the supremacy realm. His eyes fell on the Roaring Dragon continent ahead. The entire continent was lush, and it was basically covered by towering trees. This Roaring Dragon continent isn't simple. Willow Deity stared at the continent, her eyes sparkling. Wang Xian nodded. According to the information obtained by the Dragon Palace, there were more than 10 Supremacy Realm demonic beasts in the entire Roaring Dragon continent. There were even rank 3 Supremacy Realm demonic beasts. They lived here and coveted the heavenly Ocean Dragon Palace in the Sky Sea. These demonic beasts did not unite to form a force. They were basically acting on their own, waiting for opportunities. Come, let's go straight to the Sky Sea. Wang Xian and the rest did not land on the ground but continued to fly forward. Half an hour later, an ocean appeared in their line of sight. The incomparably huge Sky Sea was not very deep, only tens of thousands of kilometers. Compared to the Milky Way, it was much shallower. Go! Wang Xian and the rest made a move and dived into the ocean. Following the directions, they headed towards the center. In the ocean, the number of demonic beasts was even greater. Their unified target was the front, and they did not interfere with each other. Boom. At this time, Wang Xian sensed a terrifying aura coming from the side. A demonic beast that looked like an octopus was exuding a strong aura and charging straight ahead. When the other demonic beasts in the surroundings sensed this aura, they revealed looks of awe and hurriedly hid to the side. That was a great demon of the universe supremacy level. Every time the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace opens, many big monsters from the surrounding stars will come. It is said that last time it opened, more than 200 big monsters came. Said Wang Xian as his eyes sparkled. Not only would the big monsters from this galaxy rush over, but the big monsters from other galaxies would also rush over. Over here it was best to keep a low profile without the strength of a great demon. Even if it was a great demon of the universe supremacy level, it was better not to be too arrogant. Because there were crouching tigers and hidden dragons here. Wang Xian and the rest did not stand out too much. As they watched the big monster fly over, they increased their speed. After flying for another half an hour, they sensed a strong aura coming from the front. An incomparably huge palace stood in the deepest part of the Sky Sea. The entire palace spanned tens of millions of kilometers. Other than containing a terrifying power, the palace looked a little ancient. It looked a little sacred. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and looked at the dragon palace in front of him. He felt a sense of familiarity from his bloodline. This was the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace. Now, the dragon palace looked as though it was in a deep slumber and did not look extraordinary. Facing them was the West Dragon Gate. The West Dragon Gate looked similar to the Dragon Gate created by the system. The entire Dragon Gate contained mysterious energy. Around the Dragon Gate, many people and demonic beasts had already arrived. However, they did not dare to rashly challenge the Dragon Gate. Before the Dragon Palace was opened, any rash actions would cost you your life. As they approached the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace, Wang Xian and Willow Deity sized it up carefully. It's similar to the Dragon Palace created by the system, but there are some differences. Wang Xian mumbled as he sized it up. He looked around and said, "Come, let's take a look around the Dragon Palace." There was a grayish energy floating above the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace, blocking everyone's vision. The grayish energy in the sky was full of destructive power. No one dared to step in recklessly. Wang Xian circled around the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace. Unfortunately, he could only see the periphery and could not see the exact situation inside. At this time he saw a demonic beast race in front of him. There were a few hundred of them. They had huge wings and their bodies were like pythons. There was a single horn on their heads. From this demonic beast race, he could sense a trace of divine dragon bloodline. It should belong to the avatar dragon. However, they might have more of other bloodlines in their bodies. The leader of the demonic beasts had the might of a rank 2 universe venerable. The surrounding demonic beasts did not dare to approach them. A avatar dragon with a trace of divine dragon bloodline. Of course, it might not be right to call them avatar dragon. This is a powerful demonic beast race. Wang Xian mumbled. Other than the leader, there were 3 other universe venerables among the hundreds of demonic beasts. Seems like many powerful beings have come to the Empyrean Ocean Dragon Palace this time. He thought to himself as he continued to search around the Dragon Palace. Rumble, rumble, rumble. When he came to another location he suddenly heard the sound of battle. He was slightly taken aback when he saw a figure rushing towards him. The figure had a human body and a snake's tail. Her upper body was that of a woman while her lower body was that of a snake. At this moment she was fleeing with a face full of fear. Haha, little snake girl still trying to escape? Behind him a powerful aura rushed towards him. This aura was very familiar to Wang Xian. He looked over and saw a demonic beast that looked like an octopus chasing after him. Goo goo. A unique sound came from her body and a poisonous mist shrouded the area ahead. That you're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.